Coming off the worst day in a month for stocks, we're lower again here pre-market this morning, once again being led by tech stocks, specifically to the downside. Second day in a row, we'll have a look at a couple of economic releases coming up this morning, specifically the first of three important jobs-related data this morning at 10 o'clock. JOLTS at 10. We get the ADP private number tomorrow at 8:15, and then the big one this time on Friday morning, non-farm payrolls coming out, but overall the market back in the red once again. That's the SPY right now, S&P. Just straight southbound all day long, right from the pre-market. Yesterday there was really no bounce the entire day. We did get some trade balance data there out at 8:30, really nothing, a bit of a wash, 78 or negative 78.8 billion. For U.S. trade balance for the month of July. That's versus 78.5, negative 78.5. Again, 10 o'clock, the big one this morning. JOLTS coming up for July, not necessarily as closely watched as the next two that we'll get. Again, the ADP private number tomorrow. Non-farm payrolls, though, going to be heavily watched, heavily scrutinized. I was reading yesterday a couple of analysts suggesting that this one could be back to the upside. We could get that first uptick once again for jobs.
Remember that 100,000 miss we had last time, Breno? That had the market selling off aggressively to end July. Lots to talk about today, guys. Nvidia and Focus, they're being investigated by the Department of Justice for anti-competitive behavior. We'll have to keep an eye on that. And then they're having some of their people poached by AMD. AMD hiring an AI individual from Nvidia, as well as Dollar Tree and Zscaler, Brendo, aggressively down the red here in the morning.
Yeah, it's not all bad, though. As you mentioned, AMD, one of few on my board anyways that are green right now, to the tune of about 1.8% for AMD. There we go. After a big red day yesterday, trying to bounce here for AMD. Some of the Chinese names catching a bit of a bid here this morning. That's NIO. Back to the upside, was positive at the end of the day yesterday. There's a headline on Alibaba. Also positive here to start things off. So not all bad, I guess. Guys, good morning.
Good morning. You missed a name that was green, Brendan. GitLab was up
it's pretty
on
bad.
Earnings. So GitLab to the rescue.
Thank God I own so much GitLab shares.
Exactly.
So many shares.
Well, you know.
Oh, man, that's great.
When everyone runs to the hills to sell all their chip names, the first place you go is to. I mean, Dollar Tree got smoked, but are we surprised?
You don't own WESSA Technologies?
Oh, and Wind Tree Therapeutics.
You don't know
literally reading it off the watch list on Sean's screen there. That's some small caps running, but man, Nvidia bear territory.
Oh, man.
Nvidia went SSR yesterday. You had a host of things that were down in the 8 to 10% range, like ARM, Intel, Micron, AMD, Nvidia. Were all between 7.5 to 10% to the downside. So it's going to be a volatile kind of day, but I feel as if it might catch people off guard if there's one of those like early bounces. So there's lots out there, as we said. Dollar Tree, yuck. Zscaler, double yuck as well. A couple of names that were going to have trouble doing differently from their cohorts. Right? We already saw what happened to CrowdStrike, and we certainly saw, at least initially, and we saw what happened to Dollar General. At least it's not as bad for Dollar Tree. Not as bad.
Yesterday on the market recap show with Brian Shannon, yeah. So he pulled up a 40-year anchored VWAP on Intel and showed that we were breaking it a couple weeks ago. So I said, what about Dollar Tree? And he pulled up a 30-year anchored VWAP, and that name just continues to get beat up. All right, look, NVIDIA, I was actually just talking, I looked at Intel, and I saw yesterday it was $20, and that's where it closed. So I said, okay, let's see where we are today. Do you know it's down another 3%? So it's just like, these names are just getting like rinsed real bad right now. Like you're talking about AMD being up, which is great that Brendan brought that up to our attention, obviously. But I think that you're going to want to short these weaker names, man. Nvidia down another 2%. Intel, I didn't even realize Intel was down 3% until I looked over and it was at 1950 and breaking lower. Micron's only down 1%. So, I mean, it's going to be a story one more time today. SOXL yesterday was down 23% yesterday. Today, down another 4 on that. Yeah. God bless you too, SM, there on the chat. Yeah, I think that if you're looking at your portfolio right now, you're hoping for some divine intervention. Yeah. We've got it. It may be today.
Look at that. Now the market's going up.
And we also did learn that if Fabian ever owns any stock, that if he owns shares and that stock is possibly getting bought out, you're gonna have to deal with certain shareholders. He doesn't want to sell his stock, no matter what. He's back, baby. It's Randy in the building. Randy,
there he is.
Our portfolios are getting killed right now.
We missed you, brother.
We need you to prop up. Oh yeah. Okay. Now we're getting those vibes back. We need you to go in there and buy as much Nvidia as your RSP can handle, or your the cash in your pocket. We need to prop this market back up, Randy.
Tell me you saw yesterday. Of course you did.
We were down 3% on the NASDAQ. Many names dropping down 8, 9, $2. That's one Polestar share, almost. So this is for everybody.
Was up yesterday.
This is a toonie. So this is worth $2.
There you go.
It doesn't matter. What camera? I'm done this game. All right, so that's worth $2. We have a loonie and a toonie. Randy, do you have another one of those? You could buy 2 shares.
You could buy AMC if you get a couple of those.
You know what I'm wondering about people in the chat? Do you guys carry cash? Like, I always think I have like 20 or 40 bucks on me. No, but the actual cash, I mean. Oh, they take your actual cash?
Only to go to the barber.
Right, that's what I was going to say. That's why I try to keep cash for, like, random.
That's about it.
I don't know. Sometimes if you get, like, a food truck or something, I don't know. But.
I mean, they used to be of that habit of, like, you should always have some around just for, you never really know.
Yeah.
Like, I do that when
my father-in-law used to always tell my kids, you need some walking around money.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he called it. I mean, he's 70 years old.
Walking around
years old. Sure,
yes,
I'm
please.
almost done.
I will
I would love a coffee.
Sure. Thanks, Randy.
All right, there. See, Randy's bringing the good vibes. Yes, see, some people are keeping cash, yeah. I pay with pretty much every single thing is paid on credit card. Like, that's
now it is.
So, yeah, giving more money to Visa these days. All right, yeah, so stocks.
Well, they need it.
Yeah. Gas is cheaper in cash? Really? We don't have that opportunity here, unfortunately. That would be nice.
Yeah, where's that?
That would be nice if you could pay cash. I can't wait till you can pay everything in Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin at? 56.5. Oh, man.
It's down, too. Everything is down. How was that, too?
There you go. I hit the red thing there.
It's not good.
Oh, man, it's not good. All right. All right, let's go back over to the desk where we have the 2 handsome gentlemen ready and waiting.
EKS, another one here. Sharif and I were just talking about Dick's Sporting Goods. Downside right now, I mean, it was a decent report, and they also increased their annual sales profit, but not much happening here. Just took out that low from the end of the day yesterday. It's kind of just sitting here right now, not a lot of volume either. I was just reading a note on WESSA, W-I-S-A, up big time here. WESSA Technologies executes $210 million definitive agreement to purchase assets, including high-performance computing software and acoustic technology IP from Data Vault Holdings Incorporated. So WISA. I remember this stock for some reason, but I can't right now tell you why. But I feel like this was a pandemic name, maybe.
This is a small cap gapper. It's been on our radar recently. Guys, 500,000 share float, sub 1 million. So very small. Haven't looked at the short float yet, but we'll keep an eye on this one. Obviously, one that we'll be looking at during the midday show. To build on Brendo's point with DKS, good look here. Comparable store sales were up year over year. They didn't complain about shrinkage like they did last year, so they seem to be getting that under control. But it is still this kind of contentious relationship that they have with Nike and some of the other brands that want to have a direct-to-consumer business and looking to remove the middleman, but improving a little bit here, their relationship. Right?
Yeah, I mean, there's just no interest. Like, there's no volume whatsoever behind this at all. Again, as I said, just got through that low from yesterday and is kind of just hanging out here. So outside of, downside moves for a couple of earnings names this morning, guys, not much on the positive side, including this one.
If you're pretty much at highs going into earnings and there's anything to point to that's slow or bad, and you're not really breaking down, like Dick's only down 1%. If you're turnaround on earnings, we've seen a heck of a lot worse from highs on a lot of stocks, and we've seen the retailers be a complete mixed bag with all the fears. And this was talked about this yesterday with Justin Zach, sort of the fears over the economy sort of re-emerging, I guess. You would think a name like this could get under pressure, but only down 1%. The volume's not really there. But Dick's has a great looking chart here. Certainly nothing flaccid about that chart. That WESSA stock, by the way, Shreve said he hadn't looked at the short float. It's only a 5% short float on WESSA or WESSA. I don't know why I want to call it WESSA, but the overall float in this, it's a 5 million short float, and I think the overall float's also 5 million. So 5% short float, 5 million on WESSA there.
Comes in the middle of the chart.
Great looking chart for Dix. Thank you, Randy. That's your
US
NVIDIA?
dollar.
Well, I mean, you don't want to have to do the exchange, right?
This is worth 45 Canadian dollars.
Exactly. And your firstborn.
Oh, wow. We are getting another toonie.
Everybody's chipping in.
Okay, we might be able.
Look
Super
at
chat
that.
from Ramin, $2 super chat.
Boom.
Yeah.
We're living large now.
So you can buy. Let's figure out what stock to buy. If we get $2, we have $3.
No, but that's more like $3.30. So
I
what
was
can
right
we
about
buy?
coin yesterday. Thank you, Adam DeLuz. I didn't make any money on it. Yeah, you can buy 20,000 shares of Fisker. Yeah. so here you go. So that's good. So or some Zimbabwean.
Oh, we can't buy
dollars.
Mullen anymore because they reverse split it.
Mine. All right.
Oh, wow.
Mullen. Oh yeah, Mullen. Yeah, they were.
There's always a good penny stock out there somewhere.
You can play some options. I
No,
guess.
really,
No, I was just gonna say that when Brendan brought up Dick's Sporting Goods, honestly, no jokes aside here, but like this name, I didn't realize it was this high up. Like I was talking before with actually a trader here on the floor, and this is near the beginning of the year, and it was this top right here, 150. I guess it got like the Abercrombie and like just the huge move up there for DKS. I just wanted to say I think this name is probably seems to be pretty bulletproof. I mean, if you break below this 230, then I would say watch out. But down into 214, 215, this is looking real strong, man. And the other thing I wanted to say was today we have Costco. I noticed that it was down a little bit here in the pre-market. Well, actually not really. It just must have been a bad print. It's still at 876. But you had a move down yesterday of, I think it was almost 2%. They're well off. I mean, I'm going to say well off, but for Costco maybe. This name, if you could dip into 840, 850 here, despite any recession fears or anything like that, I think Costco has, again, that moat around it with the membership and thing like that. So I really like Costco. Every time it sort of dips into the 50-period moving average, you do have some dancing moments, but at the end of it all, it goes higher. So I would watch out for Costco here for any dip buys. And then just because we'll talk a lot about chips today, trust on that.
A little bit.
Adam, you got me shook on that Coinbase because we talked about shorting that 178, and we should have done that early, and unfortunately we didn't do that either. But Walmart, no give back at all for Walmart. I mean, yesterday just looks like a little blip over there, so we'll see what happens here, but Walmart continues to be strong. So I think retail and banks, a place to look for strength again today. We'll see if that happens, and then oil went on a little bit of a run yesterday to the downside.
Yuck.
So we'll see what's happening there. Nvidia, for some reason right now, I don't hear anything in my ear, but it is starting to go back up. It just bounced not clean, but it just bounced off 105 a little bit there, 105.50, up $1 right now for Nvidia.
Wasn't alone.
We were just we were just talking about Nvidia being down 2.25. Now it's down 1.5. Intel was almost down 3. Is that one? Yeah, that's not bouncing. So this could be the one here. Yeah, I know, Adam. Got to trust our plays. All right, we'll have some more plays though today here, and we'll watch out to see what's going on. 57,000 right now for Bitcoin and Ethereum 24. I saw 23 handle.
Yeah, Ethereum's been very weak.
Short dollar tree, says JJJJJ.
Doesn't look good.
Oh man, 40-year VWAP. Remember anchored VWAP? Okay, let's go back over the desk and get this thing going.
Costco's eating their lunch.
Yeah. We were just reading a note on Uber. Didn't do anything on this, but Uber filing for USD-denominated senior note offering, size not disclosed. So the stock, that's the stock right now, not doing anything. Negative day yesterday. You were just noting as well, Lyft coming out saying that they're going to sell bike and scooter assets in their latest effort to cut some costs.
Yeah, they're trying to cut costs, Brendo, to compete with Uber. We saw earlier that they were, there was definitely discussions with some of their drivers and looking to cut some costs there, but we'll keep an eye on both of these. I haven't gotten the details yet with respect to the Uber denominated senior note offering, but we'll keep tabs on both of these.
You want to talk about this advertising thing?
Oh boy,
it's pretty. I mean, it's out there, so you can go and Google this. It's an interesting read. I went through some of it last night, but Cox Media Group.
Oh boy.
CMG is a privately held media company that apparently Google, Amazon, and Microsoft have been using to essentially listen to us. I think everyone has gotten to the point where they've just accepted the fact that your devices listen to you, but all these companies keep saying that we don't do this, we don't do this, we don't do this, but yet we get these targeted advertisements. So apparently, from what I read, this company's product that does this, the deck, the marketing deck was leaked online.
Right.
Leaked online. And instantly, both Google and Microsoft removed Cox Media Group from their partners page on their websites. And Amazon actually came out and made a statement saying they don't deal with this company in that regard. And they're going to, quote unquote, further investigate their relations with Cox Media Group. So this product, and in this article that I was reading, their reported revenue for last year was like $20 billion.
That's it.
And it's all from this product, apparently, but it's a private company, so you can't see anything or really know anything.
Well, that's what I was going to say to you. I mean, like, there's no way to audit these financial statements to say, oh, where'd you get your money from? Like, we know with Nvidia, hyperscalers are like 80% of their revenue, but this is probably why they're keeping the company private, Brendo. Terrifying.
Yeah, and the simple fact that instantly Google removes Cox Media Group from their partners page on their website tells you all you need to know, I think.
I mean, there's going to be, it's like kind of like what Sharif said. I mean, there's going to always be these stories. Eventually they get leaked. There's going to be always these little companies. We had that back when that was election, was it Cambria or Camber, whatever that was?
Camber or something.
You know, starting to send out all those messages there on Facebook and whatnot. But yeah, interesting there that Google wipes it out. I mean, I think there's always going to be sort of that, not tin hat or anything like that, but there's always going to be deals that are behind. Wow, Google's only down 0.3. Okay, well, I guess the market's trying to rally upside a little bit here. Look at this. Look what's going on with the market right here. 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Candles are so straight there to the upside right now, trying to recover. They must know that I'm writing down all shorts on the sticky note. But no, look, Google's been in trouble for a minute, and it's about, this is going to be my largest holding, and it is about to break. We were telling you guys that we were selling some, but obviously we never sell enough when it comes all the way down. And I'm not going to buy more, but it is at the 200 period. I think this is a decent spot right now to start to get into some Google. If you were nervous about the market slipping up, you have a couple more bucks until 150. I think that could be something. I mean, still up on the year, but definitely giving some of that back, right? I mean, we start the year for Google, let's just call it whenever, 137, 136 into here, runs to 190. So it's kind of, was a nice move if you take it top to bottom. Now you're back down, only up now $20 on the year. So you're up still about that 11, 12%. Let's see what happens here. They've been really hit recently. Again, there's that DOJ investigation as well. That story I don't think is over yet. And there's worried about AI and chat taking over some of their search. So for me, man, like I open up one of the apps, whether or not it's Meta AI or ChatGPT or whatever, and I search things up. Like, I'll even ask it, like, what is the price of $1 US to CAD or something like that. Whatever. I open up like CIBC for that, but little questions like that I don't already have bookmarked, I'll go right over to the app and ask it. And generally speaking, if it's pretty easy questions, comes up with answers that I think are
It's so true. Like, it's wherever I happen to be is what I use.
I worry about
like the amount of times that I end up using, I'll just be in WhatsApp, so I'll just use Meta's with Llama. They call theirs Llama, right? Yeah, I end up using Llama a lot because I'll just be on WhatsApp when I'm thinking of the question, and that's where I go to. And when it comes to big cap tech, I actually have the eyes on, we have our eyes on Nvidia, that's big cap tech. I have eyes on Tesla today, no questions asked. AMD, Intel are both going to be in the plan. But Amazon, like there was a moment where a lot of stocks looked relatively strong, but Amazon, it was impossible not to notice it was trying to break late in the day. And I remember it kept on getting above VWAP, and it looked like it was going to go, and the market was trying to bounce. And then it just could not punch through 177. And just the way that was happening in the afternoon, a little bit of weakness that you see in some of the retail there, here and there, it has me looking at that level today. If we do get a rally and the sellers are right back in there at the 177, when I zoomed out the chart, which you should always do, and not just look at afternoon resistance, hey, let's play off of this level. When I think about it, at the open, you almost immediately failed that level. Like you tried to hold above, you failed 77. And you go back to last time it was at this price, you had a close down here, and then you failed it at the open on that last Monday. So that's clearly there's some selling there at the 177 on Amazon. And I think if I had zoomed it out, hindsight's always going to be 20/20. But yesterday, when we were looking for this thing to break out above VWAP, if you just go to that 15, I'd probably look at the other direction and wanted to short it. Now, you have to go up 1%. You'd have to go green to get to that level on Amazon, but nothing of a catalyst here. Just a noticeable level in the afternoon where the sellers came in en masse. And if it gets there again and shows any kind of a topping pattern, I think I'd want to be short Amazon. So I'm not really looking at Google today, but I think I could trade this one if it gets to 177.
We were just noticing here, DJT, for anyone following that one, it gets to the lowest point since the conversion. So if you go out to a daily chart, this was day one when it turned into Trump Media. So all-time lows as Trump Media as of yesterday. We're lower here again, ever so slightly in the pre-market. September 26th is going to be the first trade day that Trump will be eligible to sell his shares. So the 25th, or the end of trading on the 25th, will be the withholding period for Donald Trump. Still 60% of the company is a lot of shares.
He has a lot, Brendo, 114 million shares. I'm not sure exactly what the value of that is after the drop from yesterday, but this article articulates it at $2.5 billion. As you mentioned, September 25th, the close, then you'll be able to sell on the 26th. Recall that this was as high as $57.99. It almost got to 58 back in March. So this is a big drop from where it was. We'll have to keep an eye to see if this one can recover as the election gets a little closer.
Yeah, it was $18 was that key level that we got through yesterday. 1780 or change here, guys, for DJT this morning.
Yeah, so interesting thing. I know you were on vacation, Brennan. It's almost certain that lockup could end up being the 20th, because I think it was as of the first of the month. Anyways, as long as DJT stays above, I believe it was $13, it might have been 12. And if it does so for, I think it was 20 straight trading days, which seems incredibly likely, then they might be able to sell by the 20th. So it could be either one of those 2 days. Now, the way it's going, it actually might get to that 12 or $13, and it just has to trade a day below that price. But this has been a short till it's not situation on DJT. Now, it's not always the most liquid name, but yikes. Every single time there's been a pop or a consolidation, your next move has generally been to fade it. So if that happens again today, you got yesterday afternoon highs, forget about highs, like afternoon highs, 18.25. You got 18 even right around where it closed. Or you just have a sideways consolidation. We probably have to pay for locates here at Real Trading, and it feels to me like it might just be worth having them every single time it tries to make an up move. Just go ahead and pay for the locates on DJT, because this seems destined to get back to a hat size.
Yeah, look, I mean, we talked about DJT for a while there, and just that, it was $10, and that's what it was when it was SPAC, and DSPAC got the name DJT. It was DWAC, remember, and now you're downside. So I'm still looking at Google. I'm not even looking at it. I think you will eventually get that move, like we said, back into $10. We've been calling $10 for a minute. If you're still long this name, I don't really know. This was the spike up, unfortunately, July 15th when we had, was it July 15th was the attempted assassination or whatever? Because I feel like we did rip up there. Yeah, so that must have been that long ago. Okay. Yeah, so right up to there, that was that time. And since then, man, very, very few green candles. So I'm sorry for people that are holding on to this. Hopefully it's just a flyer position for you. But DJT continues to, as I think Neil is right there, going to be below $10 soon.
Adobe kicking things off here in the upgrade side, getting a nod here from Oppenheimer to $625 price target ahead of its earnings next Thursday after the close. So ADBE on watch. Coupang getting an upgrade from CLSA. We have Embraer getting an upgrade from TD Cowen, and Morgan Stanley upgrading Boyd Gaming. On the downgrade side, ASML getting downgraded here by UBS. We have Booking Holdings getting downgraded by Jeffrey Financials. Zscaler getting a downgrade here from BMO Capital Markets. Not the only analyst downgrading this one after its earnings. They did beat there for the top and bottom line, but actually lower guidance than expected. So ZS definitely strongly to the downside. And last but not least, Compass Point downgrading MasterCard. Really interesting list here, guys.
The upgrade on Adobe, the timing of that's always interesting. I mean, everything dropped yesterday, but Adobe's in particular, ooh, I like the bangs there. Adobe's in particular, yuck. So it just, like everything else, it failed yesterday. Nothing was going to be up in a situation like this unless you're talking about volatility, but 581 here. Like it's a triple top on a lower high that you just made another reversal off of going into it on strength. So this, in a bad way, would need to close above 580. I don't wonder if that's going to be a little bit of trouble. This is what it looks like on a 15-minute. So many charts look like this. Strong early, and there were a lot of things strong early. This is what Meta's chart looks like. It's what Microsoft's chart looked like that as well. I mean, a firm's chart looked like that, where you were just breaking out and then a reverse. Anytime you get that kind of a rejection, my first thought on stocks like that is you want to be short back into prior resistance. The one of that ilk that I'm looking at today, and you might have heard me mention, was a firm. And it's why I like it better is it didn't just do it once, it did it twice. Like a firm broke out, got to 45 on Friday, got to 45 yesterday, and both days it started at 40.60. Well, started at 40.60, got to the top. This one got back down to that 40, almost 40.60. It's been on an absolute tear recently, but this seems like a bit of a flat bottom break. If it breaks this 40.60, I'm looking for a flush underneath. So I'm going to, if we break 40.60 on a firm, I'm looking for that rejection. If it runs off this price, then I just sit it out until it maybe gets to like a 42.5 or like a 43. But I'm looking fade. As long as this is not breaking out over 45, so many things in those topping tail wicks. I mean, Adobe has a similar setup. A firm is a more tradable stock. It's that simple.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, Adobe was a call. I was talking to Adara. We actually have, I won't spoil it, but a viewer sent something in. So Adara's going to go get it. So I was actually really surprised that. It's got so emotional.
Where do we get
there,
these?
Fabian? He's like, oh. Yeah, so I remember talking about this stock a while ago, and it had a huge fall from grace. I remember when we were doing sort of the Freedom of Wealth podcast, we talked about this sort of being one of those AI plays as well. I mean, we were doing these things in the fall, but we had a nice push down right there into, I mean, again, another beat up name was Adobe. Now it's had a huge move back up there to the upside. I still like the stock. I am a little worried, obviously, as we talk more and more about AI and some of the capabilities of what else is out there and different suites and being integrated. We saw Apple with their new iPad can do things just on phones and on iPads. Now we wait for iOS 18 to come out, but again, Adobe could be part of that, right? So I like the long. I think 540, 550 there would be an area where the 200 period is where you want to get out. But Adobe's looking pretty good here. Despite being flat on the day, no volume. I like the stock. I think if you get another dip down over the next couple of days, I think you could buy Adobe.
For like color correcting, it's better. Just reading PagerDuty here. Downgrade for PagerDuty coming off their report after the close yesterday, but multiple brokerage cutting their price target after they reduced their annual revenue outlook as well. Again, not a lot of volume behind this, but big move, so notable anyway. Huge move down after the close yesterday. We're bouncing along the bottom here for PD.
Yeah, not too much I have to say about that. Brendo wasn't really ready for that one, but we'll keep an eye on PD. Morgan Stanley maintaining PagerDuty with coverage of equal 8 and a target of 19. Big move down here, finding support at 15.5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sifting through some of the ones that are moving around here in the pre-market. PagerDuty, not really one that we typically deal with. Guys, just seeing a note on TSM as well. ASML down 4.5%. Oh, it's just overall general. TSM downside as well.
And Qualcomm today. I want to mention Qualcomm, Brendo, even though they weren't doing a lot of movement here in the pre-market, they did introduce a new AI chip that's supposed to take on Intel's new AI-specific chip. It's supposed to have good energy efficiency as well. It's called the Snapdragon X Plus 8-core PC. It's supposed to have a better battery life than some of the Intel competitors, so keep an eye on Qualcomm.
As we said, not all bad, though. There are a few that are positive. Let's get into everything we need to know here. Heading towards the open on a Wednesday. 55.41,
guys. That's where we closed out yesterday. Big drop down from that 56 and change we were trading at. We still were able to defend, though, 5,500 overnight. So if we continue to drop, let's look for 5,500 as support. Let's look to 5,550 as resistance.
If you haven't done so yet, super easy. Go down to the description of this video. There's a link there for the watch list. Hit that, enter your email address, and then we send it right to your inbox every single day. We do all your homework for you. It has everything that's moving around in the pre-market and why delivered to you for free. Best part, every single day in the pre-market. Let's talk Nvidia. Yeah, downside yesterday in a pretty big way. We're trying to bounce here, holding on to aftermarket levels from after the close yesterday right now. 106.80, 106.75 coming into play so far this morning. Needs to bounce here. Chips need to bounce overall for the overall market.
That 105 hold was interesting yesterday, Brandon. We'll have to see if that holds on. More bad news here for Nvidia. Department of Justice, kind of unsurprised by this, looking to investigate them for anti-competitive behavior, or what they say is antitrust behavior. Specifically, they're saying they're making it difficult for customers to switch to other AI chip suppliers. They're trying to utilize their 80% market share and their development of the CUDA software, which helps you connect all these different GPUs together. We'll have to wait and see what the investigation returns.
If anyone's concerned for Jensen, don't be. His net worth below $100 billion once again after the stock was down 14% in 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that concerned, but now that you say it that way, my level of concern is like astronomically high. So no, I mean, obviously, exactly. Come on, cry me a river, man. So he has to wear like, probably has 175 leather jackets, and he swaps them out every other day. But, you know, whatever. He has to cut that in half. It's not a big deal.
How did you know? That's exactly how many he has, actually. I was reading an article about that.
We just make some ish up around here. Yeah. Look, it might be gimmicky for me off the open today on Nvidia because it was SSR yesterday. So it was 10% to the downside. And when a stock like this goes SSR, short sell restriction, so you can only hit the bid to go short if there's an uptick, when that happens on something this big, I'm thinking the first available level that tries to hold the dip price and shake out some, essentially shake out some shorts would be like the even dollar level I'd look for. Right now, that's setting up like 106. 105 would have been obvious when we sat down this morning because that was an overnight low and then it held it all morning long. So if it's able to hold the 105 or the 106, or even just right now on those pre-market lows, I'd look for that dip and rip, make a bottom, get back up through an even dollar level, go for like a relief rally long. There was this selling in the afternoon right around here. You see this 109 level? That's where forget about VWAP, it's above VWAP right now. That's where if it got to here, I'd like the out for longs. And I'm not saying I would go short at that price level, but if we get to 109 and selling comes in, that's the price I'd respect first. And then after that into 111.5. I do feel like AMD is a strong name today. And we'll get to, actually, AMD's next on the list, so we can talk about AMD separately.
Yeah, look, yesterday, no joking aside here. We talked about this on the recap show. Make sure you join me or Neil every day at 4 o'clock. Yesterday was a historic day. It was the biggest one-day loss of any company ever in history. So yesterday, Nvidia lost over $280 billion. That's 4 Intels. It lost in one day, okay? So they lost literally like more money in market cap, but it's not lost, right? It's all unrealized. Whatever it was, it was. But yesterday, $280 billion, the biggest one-day loss of one company ever. Jensen, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's all good. I think Nvidia will be back, but that's pretty crazy when you think about it. And then I looked up what Nvidia or what Intel's market cap is, 80 billion. 280 billion. So they wiped out. Uber is like 150 billion. So they wiped out almost 2 Ubers yesterday. I mean, this market, what goes up must come down. And we've seen that many, many times in the history of the stock market. We saw Meta go from 500 down to 100, back to 550. We saw Netflix go from 700 down to 130 or something like that. And then all the way back up now to $700 again or whatever it's at now, right? These names will get wiped out. And it's already happening. This is 140 down to $100. We've already been down to 90. That was already a 35% correction. They're getting it now. They didn't like the report. They only produced 33 billion or whatever in revenue. And it's getting hit, right? I really like their customer base, and I don't think it's a problem that 20% of their business is coming from Microsoft. These hyperscalers need these guys, and not only that, it's also a story moving forward, right? I mean, the software and everything that's built in now into all this AI, as consumers start to use it more, we get more base case scenarios for the use of AI, and I think we're still in early innings, but. Yesterday we lost going long, man, and it doesn't really matter what your opinion is. Like, at the end of the day, whatever we lost, we lost. We'll do fine today. But I think now you got to look at this pre-market break of 105.60 again to think that there's going to be some more pain coming in here. If the market continues to sell off, I mean, it's still down. It had a nice run. Nvidia about an hour ago was a little worse than this, down about 2%. I still think that's in jeopardy, that 105 there. And then, as Sharif mentioned, yesterday's hold of 105, pretty interesting. We'll see if it can continue to do that here today. So a nice move down in. Here's sort of the hold at 105. Looks like it's going to break to me, man. And if it does, we want to get short. And then if we're wrong, we punch out almost immediately. There's been no time yesterday. Like, if you would have just shorted 112 here, it broke maybe a couple times, went back up to 112.50 maybe at most, and then it started to collapse back in. Some of these breaks that actually you might have looked at, like right into here, this is 110. There's the 110 hold. You got to get out if it breaks because it loses, but then it breaks again, and then it's down here. So let's see what today brings. I wrote down here, let's just wait a few minutes, because the market could bump up. I thought a good shorting area here, and I was just using the 20-minute. If we really rip up, what about 112? Again, just kind of, I don't know, if we can get above 111, let's see if it pushes too much higher than that. I think like 111 and change up to 112 where the 50-period moving average is. I think that could be something. So we'll see about Nvidia. But for right now, I think the play that you have to look for is this 105.50 break. Because if it breaks that, I think it goes to 105, so that's 50 cents. You can get out of half of your position maybe. And then if that 105 breaks, then you can sort of even cascade down with it and add to your position. So I think there's some opportunities here with Nvidia today. That is for sure. And then you got $100, right? I mean, what will happen at 100? A little bit of dancing opportunities right here. Okay, here we go. So,
oh boy,
there it is. All right, so you can probably guess.
Oh boy,
what is in here. Before we go on, I'm going to thank, because Juan sent me the message here. This is from Mark L. That's all we know. Mark L in the chat. So we want to say thank you so much to that.
Salute, Mark.
So Neil, open it up.
Yeah, let's see what we got to do. Well, there's a couple, so let's open.
Hold on a second. Let me open. No. Let me open this. Oh shoot.
Yeah, they got the.
Or they're...
Oh yeah, they got the seal on it because it's. All right, so we got a little standard. You guys can see in there.
I just brutalized mine. Here.
Honey glaze.
Open the wrong one.
Why did I open the wrong one?
Trust me.
Oh,
there we go. You see what I'm saying?
Woo!
I cannot let that happen. Neil has to be the one to open that. Those are the world famous apple fritters. Yeah. So thank you so much, Mark L.
Mark.
And then I did not mean to interrupt, but I had to there because I needed Neil to get that joyous moment in your day. Right there. And then there's another one. That Boston Cream, I think, would be the favorite of this one, but nice assortment there. And this is Tim Hortons. So go trade QSR. RBI,
oh, you did, didn't you?
Stock there for Tim Hortons. So
yeah, buddy.
There we go. Thank you so much, Mark L. I'm not sure if you're still in the chat, but that's the
thank you, Mark.
That we have. So thank you so much.
What were we talking about?
We're done. We just did Nvidia.
Okay. Back to the desk. No?
Yeah. This portion of the show brought to you by our friends over at Moomoo. If the economy's got you nervous about a recession and tech stocks are all over the place, you should really check out Moomoo's cash sweep. They're offering a sweet 8.1% APY right now, way better than most stocks are pulling in. Moomoo is awesome, all-in-one investing app that's partnered with the NASDAQ and backed by the SEC. Your money's safe, insured up to $500,000, so no worries there. That's 8.1% APY. Isn't just for show. Your uninvested cash earns interest 24/7. You can put it out wherever you need it. So when tech starts turning around, you can jump right back in with that cash, giving some extra earning power. Don't let your money just chill when it could be doing more for you. Sign up now, fund your account, and you'll snag 15 free stocks and up to $300 in transfer bonuses. If you're in Canada, you'll be able to receive up to $2,300 in rewards. Just scan the QR code. Link is below in the description as well. Shout out to our friends over at Moomoo. We were discussing briefly there earlier. AMD this morning picking up former NVIDIA exec, trying to get some of that NVIDIA positivity. Paying off so far, 2.5%. Big red day yesterday, though.
Yeah, so this Keith Stryer individual, he's going to be the Senior Vice President of Global AI Markets. Previously, he did work at NVIDIA as Vice President of Worldwide AI Initiatives. That's going to be his role here. He's going to be looking to expand AI on a world scale. A couple of other headlines here. Well, another headline here with respect to AMD. They're going to present today at the Goldman Sachs Communicopia Technology Conference, slated to start at about 3:25 Eastern Time, 12:25 Pacific. So we'll be on the lookout for that, Brendo.
I just had like donut smell
I can smell it.
venturing over here.
Hopefully my egg waft will be able to...
We'll kill it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good call.
It's one of the worst calls I've ever heard in my life. You want to have egg smells over donut smells? Egg smell?
I don't even know where to begin with
the donut
that.
smell, man.
I don't know where to begin.
But Sharif's, to have Sharif's back, the concoction that he has here every morning smells great.
No, it does. But it's not
I'm
like
talking
straight
about the egg smell.
Yeah,
You know,
like
calm
egg
down on
smell
the egg
is not...
rather than freshly baked pastries.
I mean, now this smell... Now that fresh baked goods... Sharif, you need to check yourself a second there. Freshly made. Huh? What? You don't want to, huh?
He's tempting. All right. Yeah. So as Neil enjoys that, we'll let him finish that bite right there, or inhaling of the Dutchie. Oh, I used to like Dutchies actually, but they got rid of those. Yeah, the apple fritter's still there. They used to have blueberry fritter. They kind of bring those back, and then I don't know if it's a summer.
I love those too, but apple's where it's at.
Yeah. All right. AMD up 2.5, right? I mean, obviously a good story there as they starting to poach some, I was going to say traders, some executives and talent, I guess, at the end of the day. That's always going to happen in business, right? I mean, you're going to lose guys and girls, doesn't matter which as you go. So nice move to the upside here for AMD, up 2.5%. I still say fade all of this, but maybe a little bit too early to think about it. That's why I wanted to give the market a couple minutes. I mean, this has been a brutal move down, right? I mean, yesterday we wrote down yesterday, see if we can short 150. And we even wrote down, hey, if we ever get to 152, that would be a great short. But the short party started real early. And like what Adam said in the chat there about nailing Coinbase, it's just like at some point you got to say, all right, what exactly is this percentage doing? And is it just getting set up to get hit right back down? So I want to see that. Let's see if the bulls come in and get this thing into this 142 area. If we do, then I think yesterday, sort of where we tried to battle back from yesterday, right? We can open up this right here. Came back into this area, then fell. So I think this is a decent short area, 142.50 or so for AMD. And we're a lot closer now than we were an hour ago. So I feel like that is a play. But I don't want to, again, be sitting here shorting as it's ripping up. Let's let it settle down. And if we have to, we'll play it on a much calmer basis, not in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, in the first 5 minutes, I think you just got to be really patient today because, like for Nvidia, to me, like that was more of like an SSR bounce early. But AMD, I want to see, can it hold 139 off the open? There was a distinct on the 15-minute, there was a distinct curl in this 139 to 140 area. Like you consolidated for an hour, and then that's where everything broke down. So if you hold that support, or even the 140, I think you can get up to that 142. So if we're holding that range, I'd rather look long on this name. And if you're underneath 139, I'm not fighting it. If you're underneath 139, I guess you're headed right back down to the lows, and they don't like the news after all. And even if it gets past 142, I could easily see 43, 44, anything out and about to the 45 level. I'd be patiently looking for a curl. You have to remember, okay, it's all well and good that they're able to get this AI guy from Nvidia, from a valuation standpoint, like their growth isn't as big and they're still relatively expensive. So there's a reason why it had been performing so relatively weak. It can run. We've seen it happen before. If the buyers step in at that 39 support, I have no issues respecting that level and looking for trend long. Like that's going to be the first look. But if you get anywhere adjacent to that 45 level or out in front of it, it's more like a 44.5, technically speaking. You start getting up into that range, and I got to be thinking fade on AMD. It would seem to me to be way too much given what we had yesterday, and it hasn't been that healthy of a stock. So I don't mind these early bounce plays, but we saw what happens when those trends reverse early on. And I'm just going to, just as an example, there's nothing wrong with taking your money. If there's a big move in the market early and you get a bounce, like I'm talking about something that happened early on Meta, went like $5 and gave it up. You had Tesla do something similar to that, like Tesla was running and it gave you multiple dollars before failing 220 and then it was a fade the rest of the day. That's where you don't want to get trapped. If it gives you that early move, nothing wrong with banking it on the long side and then just being patient and seeing if you have the continuation instead of just hoping it'll be a long all day just because it's strong.
Just noting, DLTR, their earnings call was 8 o'clock this morning, but I'm just trying to make a new low right now, coming off a report that was not good. 71 coming into play right now for DLTR. There's also DKS, as we mentioned, on the earnings front.
Yeah, look, Dollar Tree is having a hard time here. So are some of these dollar stores. We've seen Walmart, Costco, and some of these other larger retailers really do well while these ones pull back a little bit. Here's the look. So their revenue was up 0.7% year over year. That's quite anemic. Increase in comparable sales, same number, 0.7%. They missed the consensus estimate on EPS, so they missed on earnings, and their outlook was absolutely brutal. Q3 revenue guidance lowered, Q3 EPS lowered, and full year outlook lowered below consensus. The tough look for them here. Truist maintaining their coverage with a buy and a price target of 140, Brendo, but it's down already 13%.
DKS just starting to get going here, back to the downside as well. I'll double check on that. I haven't seen any comments coming through, but it could be a call for Dix right now as well, guys.
Yeah, that would make some sense. You're now back into 2020 territory for a Dollar Tree here, and that's never a good thing for a retailer. I don't know how many times you can say it, but if the stock price is telling you things are as bad as the worst it could have ever been for retailers, and that's not a good thing. You still have this is here. That's 81. We're at 71. All you have left is on a weekly chart. The first support here at about $68, and then the actual COVID bottom was like $61 for Dollar Tree. So until it gets there, that 68 would be the next big level. I think it's a look for the short and just find it where you can. If it ends up breaking, right now pre-market high is at 74. If that gets taken out, I'm not thinking shorts. I'm thinking it's probably squeezing to the upside or a relief rally. VWAP sits at 72. This is a let it settle and try to join the short and look for a trend, at least until it gets to that 68 level. And if 68 breaks, all you got left is the COVID low. And you pull out the weekly chart to go try and find that one on Dollar Tree. I think it's nasty. We didn't necessarily expect them to do any fireworks here based on what already happened to Dollar General, but that's not a stock. If you look at Dollar General, which I think unsurprisingly is gapping down itself on sympathy, if you looked at what happened to it, it gapped down. It tried to pop off the open, so you had to be really patient. It did a pop off the open of about $5 or $6, and then just trended down for that day, and then the next day, and a little bit of a relief rally yesterday, and now gapping down again. So I'm just thinking a similar pattern here for Dollar Tree, because Dollar General showed us the blueprint.
Yeah, we had Justin on yesterday, and he was talking about Dollar Tree and Dollar General, and just watch out for their guide and everything like that. So yeah, unfortunately, that the beat up names keep getting beat up here as we go. I'm watching out for the TQQs as well. Yeah, we got that little story about Uber. I don't really know why I went from Dollar Tree to Uber here, but I just wanted to note, because I was just looking at the chart, you are at a breaking spot here for this name as well, in and around $71. So this could be Again, kind of looks like a flat bottom break maybe, but it's not that aggressive. That would be more if you were sort of breaking down into here. But at the end of the day, this 71 break, sometimes we travel into these magical levels, and the 50 period would be in and around 69, and then that's right where the 200 is as well. So I'm looking at this as a possible breakdown here, down 1% for Uber. No volume, so 200,000 shares, but just looks pretty sparse. It must be one or so big orders. But we'll wait to see now what happens for Uber today. Thinking a 71 break might be something to look at. Is, by the way, it's only 9:20. Nvidia right here is pulling back in. So there's the 200 period. All right, so something to look out for now. 106.50. We talked about possibly hitting this as a short, and then we said also let's give it some time. But I'm not going to hit anything in the pre-market. Let's just see what happens. If it comes screaming into this off the open, we will take like a third of a position on that because I don't want to miss that move. And then I'm sitting here saying, wow, we talked about that, but we didn't do it because it was too early. So we will lower our shares on early trades, but we'll still be in them, I hope.
All right, Zscaler here, the next on the list. Big move to the downside this morning as well, to the tune of about 18% at the lows. We're bouncing ever so slightly here. I'm just counting. There's 7 on the first page here of analyst moves to the downside on Zscaler as well, coming off miss for them.
So this was a good report, Brendo, until you got to the guidance, and then it all fell apart there. So better than expected Q4 results. EPS exceeded analyst expectations. Revenue grew 30% year over year, but here's where it really all falls apart. The full year earnings guidance dropped significantly. The street wanted $3.01. They're printing $2.81, or they're guiding $2.81. Also, revenue guidance missed as well. So we'll keep an eye on this. And there also one side of the coin here, which is not bad, is that they actually reported 32% increase in deferred revenue. Deferred revenue is a good gauge for possible future growth. So down, but two sides of the coin.
Just on DKS real quick, their earnings call was 8 a.m. So yeah, session lows here, but nothing right now for Dix, guys.
Yeah, speaking of session lows, Zscaler. The reason Dollar Tree over Zscaler, retail, and we've sort of seen that with Dollar General and the way that moves, so there's a bit of a blueprint. But then the second part is Zscaler is right at it's obvious support on the daily. Like, it just twice it's already bounced off this level. Today would be a third, of 156 on the daily, and it's right there essentially near that bottom. So it's a theoretical bounce zone, or is that for Zscaler? If I see it trying to SSR bounce in the middle of the day off 156, I'd probably take a shot at that. But as far as looking for the continuation short, just like Dollar Tree, a little bit better compared to Zscaler. The stock had been doing relatively well. It was above the 50 period. It was above the 200 on the daily. Check that. It was at the 200 on the daily, and it was above the 50 period. And now you're right back retesting some lows. Not a lot of pre-market volume either. The spread is currently exactly $1 on Zscaler. So I think you want to let this one open up. But that 156, that's a little bit too much of a support level on the daily to look for a continuation short down here. I'll probably sit this one out and look at Dollar Tree instead.
Yeah, not a good sign here. Zscaler right now only a short float of 5%, so it's not even, I guess it's shorted, but it's not heavily shorted. Again, cybersecurity, cloud-based platform, not going to be good. And that's the problem when you guide lower. Stocks are priced based on what the future expectation is, right? So, you get a little bit of a problem there. I just look over at another software company, Palantir. Part of it's going to be on the back of some of these bad reports that came through, right? So right now, Palantir continues to get hit down. We're now below $30. I actually want to short up here, the 200 period moving average in and around 31. We got to there yesterday, and then we fell. We got there twice. That top was 31.13. I'll give it a little bit of room, 31, but not much, like 31.05 or so. Yesterday, we topped out there in and around that area. This would probably be one we missed because I don't think it pops up. But yesterday, it did this. Remember, we lost early yesterday because we were going long into where we thought there was some support. And then we're like, oh, wow. It dropped over about 90 cents there from top to bottom and then ripped right back up that same 90 cents, but could not break where it had sort of rested the day before. That was 31.60. So there is a possibility for this name to go through 31. So let's not give it too much room and look at right here. That's yesterday's VWAP for Palantir, 31.05. So I'm going to try to short this name as we get into 31, but only trying to give it about 20 cents. Trying to look for our average price to be around 30.80 or so to see if we can hold that out. Because I feel like if it fades that, we could easily get a move back into this 30.40, which gives us 2-1. So we'll take that in and around 30.80 for Palantir. That's another name here that's on today's sticky note. With only 5 minutes to go, we have Palantir as a short. I'm already sitting there with an order. That's the only current bid or offer that I have in the market today is on Palantir, about $1 higher.
All right, just checking out Nike here. I don't see anything, but lots of volume for NKE. Just made a session low, as well as probably just this dark pool dump that we got early on this morning. Intel also downside in a pretty big way, although trying to bounce right now. Broadcom not making it pleasant for them this morning after testing an Intel product. We'll get to that in a sec, but huge. Another chip name, huge down day yesterday.
Yeah, Brendo. So we know that the turnaround strategy here for Intel is going to be the foundry business. So this is what we're going to talk about right now. So Broadcom conducted tests on Intel's 18A manufacturing process using silicon wafers. It revealed that the process is not viable for high volume production. So Broadcom hasn't made a decision whether they're going to continue with Intel to be the foundry for this new chip or whether they're going to look elsewhere. Intel's response is they say they're maintaining their fast track to be able to produce these. And, they didn't offer any more comments specific to Broadcom, but down 2 1/3.
Yeah, more negativity for the semiconductor group as a whole. I was just triple checking here on Nike, but I don't see much, guys. Just broke that session low, it looks like, for an NKE.
Yeah, so the imbalances hit for the NASDAQ at 925. Nvidia was 2.3 million sell. Now it's 1.5 million to the sell side. It's the only name that showed up on the locator that wasn't already there before. It's just Nvidia to the sell side.
And I love how I look down and I see in my notes here, wait a few minutes. Okay, 9:26. All right, we're in. All right, so we're short Nvidia right now, breaking through that 105.50 area. We talked about if that was going to happen, we were going to take a small piece. So we don't. It's like I said, it's about a third. Well, the shares we were using yesterday, it's not a third. It's like more like a quarter of our position, or sorry, almost a tenth right now. But we are short here on Nvidia. Again, obviously the way I'm talking, it's not going to be a huge position. I'm trying to bid something out here in front of 105. Yesterday it bounced off 105. We'll wait to see if that hits. But right there, it's Nvidia. It's a sell, and it just tanked it, right? Like that was a move. It was just at 106. And then all of a sudden that imbalance came out and boom. Remember, this is short sell restricted. So the only way to hit this offer, hit the bid, is selling into it. You have to have shares in order to get this stock lower. So watch out for that. You could get a bounce off that just superficial early, but right now Nvidia is short, and I'm all over that one. Look, I dumped. We posted this on the show last week, or at least we talked about it anyways. We got out of some Starbucks, and the majority of our I just typed my name there, and the majority of our Nike shares at 84 and change, maybe 83 and change. I just don't know about the retailer. I mean, this is just continuously moving to the downside here. So we talked about ON. There it is. Yes, sure. Let's go. Finally. Okay, here we go. We talked about ON, and some of those other names, Hookah and all that stuff, eating into some of their margins. There it is, man. 105 and change. Just got a piece out. We start the short. I only got out of 20%. And again, we're just going to let this one ride, see what happens there. That 106.50 seems like that could be our stop if we're wrong, the 200 period. All right, over to Sharif with 2 minutes.
All right, guys, we're talking about trend lines today. We're going to continue the themes with trends. So if you're into that kind of thing, check out How to Trade with Adair and I on at 11.
Thank you very much, Sharif. The trend was definitely downside yesterday. Nvidia just paired to 200,000. So the balance that was there before is no longer there. Intel, very, very quickly, not hard to see. It closed at 2010. It had 20.25 resistance in the afternoon. I'm pretty sure I said in the afternoon, you're going to likely look shorts back into that level after covering Intel shorts at that price. That was a bad trail out. But if we get back up in here, 2025, maybe even the 20 even, I'd be looking pop and fade on Intel. I want to think short till it's not. If it's breaking out that quarter and going green on the session, that's a no fight zone for me on Intel. When the imbalances dropped, AMD actually managed to bounce to the upside there. So AMD still looking relatively strong despite that sell imbalance and that drop there on Nvidia. One more, Tesla. Tesla bounced. I didn't see this on the locator, but it did bounce about $1 heading into the open. I still like this 212. It gets up to 212. I'm looking for a pop and fade. It's morning bottoms and a consolidation level. So about 30 seconds to go in here. Right now, AMD looking relatively strong, as I just said. Tesla popping to the upside, Nvidia going down. Looking to short pops in INTC, which should be absolutely no surprise. We didn't really talk too much about crypto, but suffice to say, crypto's down again. Don't have any obvious levels for Mara, but I am looking short continuation. But yeah, they can't seem to hold too much of a bid over there on BTC. Adara, it is hump day because it's Wednesday already. Let's ring that bell in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, Tesla's
all right,
strong like a bull.
We are open. We get another fill on Nvidia there as we go. So we're going to wait to see if it breaks through 105. We do get that 105.15 again on Nvidia. So good trading there to start the day. We'll take a 105 break, but we're going to let it settle down as we do get that fill. So here it comes right back up to the upside. Watch out. This name could run. If it does, we'll get out at 106.50 if it does run. Tesla's flying to the upside. Okay. I was also watching Amazon, but right now here comes Nvidia back up to the upside. So a good cover there off the open. Let's see where we go from here.
Okay, Tesla absolutely flying into the upside, up to 212 already. Just double checking. The market's headed to the downside, so Tesla's going counter trend once again. Need this one to calm down a little bit here. Okay, Intel's also going to the upside, so logic.
The chip names are going.
Yeah, Intel's starting to rally in. If it breaks 20, I'm looking pop and fade on Intel. So we're going to be short this at some point. It's just a matter of where this one decides to calm down. Break down on... Affirm did break that flat bottom, so Affirm just broke 40.60 as well. That one heading underneath that support level from yesterday. So a couple of things we're watching. Want to short the pop here in Intel. Affirm just came in. AMD's trying to hold the 139, so that's starting to come down as well. But my eyes are peeled on Intel at $20 here. That's probably the second thing to come in.
Yep, so NVIDIA is coming in as well right now. Coming back to the upside, as Neil has mentioned there a little bit, as this market starts to go. So we did, again, we'd say we'd be a little bit patient. Amazon breaks 174. We do take a starter position on that one, trying to give this to about 175 or so. Look, we talked about this could be a rally, market day. We'll see if that does come through, man. Still looking to get some more short here on Amazon. Here it comes. I mean, we'll see if it does want to fade out. NVIDIA all the way up here at 106. Let's add a little bit to this short that we already, did we? Yes, then we already have, okay. So we get some there in the 80s. We are looking at like a 106 or so break anyways to the upside to be wrong. That, that level right there was one. I mean, we'll give it to 107 to be wrong. So a good little reload there. Now in the money now, 40 cents, 50 cents, 60 cents. Let's take a bid here at the quarters. There it is. We take another one there. So yeah, man, what a difference a day makes as we try to stick to like what we meant to do with our stop orders ready to go as well. There goes Amazon. And again, as it was written right there on the sticky note, here it is, man. It's a 40-cent winner right now for Amazon. We talked about that one. We put it on, breaking through 174. I said, let's see what happens to retail. We saw Costco yesterday downside. It's written right there, 174, one of four ideas, on the sticky note, and it's going, man. Here's a big move. This is a nice trade. Down now 60 cents now in the money for AMZN. Let's see where we go now as the market's still not doing anything. Imagine if it goes down. Where's Amazon going? And there it is right now, a nice little crash in there for Amazon. We're still in the money now, 40 cents on Nvidia. Let's take another bid just in case we bounce off of 105 again.
Yeah, Tesla tried at that 12 level. It just busted and went to 13. So I got out when it got to 212 half. But this is just screaming into the upside on Tesla. It definitely needs to calm down a little bit here. Affirm just broke 40. Let me just get a bid. I didn't have any bids in there. Affirm just broke $40. That's headed to the downside. But Tesla's still looking incredibly strong and flying. AMD is looking strong off of the 139. That's a real wick at the open. This tanked about $1.50. Actually, check that, $2 we tanked over on AMD. Caught a bid at 139. Now it's headed back higher. So this is starting to look like a good trap. I feel like it trapped some shorts underneath the 140, and now AMD wants to go. If it holds 140, I should be in there. If we can get 139s, that'd be even better. I'm going to pop on the bid, give it to the local bottom on AMD, which is 138. 30-ish. So I want to make sure we have a stop order in there. We talked about how whipsaw action it can be off that open. So I'm not thinking it can't retest some of these prices. You could easily retest the 139 here on AMD. And now that things might have calmed down over there on Tesla, just want to give it a heartbeat. It ran right through that 212. Don't know where top might be, but I'm still thinking, do not want to assume first move is going to be where the continuation is on TSLA. Let's go to Adara.
Nice volume spike here for asset entities right off of the open. ASST, this one near day's highs, about 45%. No news on this one. It is a repeat runner. We've seen it running a couple times over the past 2 weeks. Does have a float here of just over 1 million shares, so pretty small float for ASST, guys.
What Neil said there, giving things a minute here to try to settle down. So that's basically what we are doing. I mean, we're trying to let down, come in and see where we go. So Nvidia right now, we're just adding a little bit to the short here. We're short at 76. So if this can fall back in, let's take something in the 40s, I guess. We are still waiting for another fill in the 20s. So if that comes in, that would be great for us. Okay, here comes a little. Okay, again. You know, yesterday we talked about the losers. Today we go the other way, and we're now short. Even though the market's trying to go a little bit higher here, I'm actually going to cancel my 105.30 or 20 fill, see if we do get another move down. So look at this, short, short, short. This is about as pretty as it gets right now for day trading Nvidia, shorting all the pops and getting out on the drops. All right, so Amazon, again, another good fill down there. We'll put another fill if the market wants to get back in. Let's put something again in the 40s and then just continue to do what we want to do, right? Look for names. PLTR,
Ooh.
yeah.
Tesla's at 415?
Okay, well, you got out of that short, so that was great. Watch out for Tesla. That name could move, boy.
Oh, boy.
Good morning so far, 2 for 2.
Yeah, so look, Tesla's absolutely flying to the upside. Good thing we got out of that one. The other thing that's coming in is Intel. So Intel got to 20 bucks. Let it get there. There's your wick, looking a little bit better off the 20 level now. So there's your wick above, a little bit of a reversal candle starting to come in. Allow it to calm down. It's been relatively strong off of the open here on Intel. Oh, come on, don't make me chase it. I don't mind 88. I do not want to chase into the low 80s though. So we're going to grab the short in Intel off that 20 failure, and now Tesla's starting to look a little bit weaker. But we're short that. We're short not AMD, a firm, and suddenly the market's looking a little bit weaker. This is probably the spot to look for that Tesla short. Now that you got a high of 214.5, and the market's starting to come back in a little bit, so it's looking a little bit better for a shot at Tesla.
All right, I like all that talk. All right, let's just keep looking. So we just actually right there. Good trade. Oh, yeah. I feel bad about it because we own this stock, but right now we are $1 plus. You want to talk about coming back, guys? This is, I mean, we said this yesterday, right? You know, to get hit on Nvidia and not be short. We said that we're going to change that script today. There we go, man. $1.50 now in the money on the short on Nvidia. We're here for you, man. You know, you have that day, you come right back and look at this. It's a wax job right now. It's on its gates of hell. Goes to the downside for Nvidia down to 104. Just touch base there. We get out at 104.50 and change. Now, where's the next stop? We all may say we said 100. Well, oopsies, that's a daily chart, which we know don't work very well here. For that, we'll have to zoom back out. But right into here, 104 and change. So nice little trade happening here for us. That little bottom would be 104, I guess. So yeah, let's put another bid here. Let's put another bid at 104. I mean, you know, right now it's been a good one. Let's make sure that it can stay that way. Our out was always going to be a break up here. We talked about the 200 period. So now that's sitting there at 106.30. So well within our realm. But that's what it's all about. You know, you come back better and stronger the very next day, and I think that we've proven that. So
the cat came back?
Yeah, the cat Tina came back, and we're radio every single day.
Is it right what I heard about? I'll ask you later.
Our cat. Yeah, unfortunately, our cat William.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I talked about it on the recap show there. Yeah, he passed away midday yesterday, and it was really sad. But he was a rescue cat.
Kids doing good?
Yeah, the kids were actually they're actually pretty fine with it. I was actually I had like a little session with my wife there because we were pretty sad about it, and I felt bad because the kids were at school, and then it was like okay, but they came home and he was old and he wasn't doing that well, and he had been dehydrated for a minute, so. Kind of not expected, but
it wasn't a complete.
Yeah, and Baxter was home over the weekend, so that was kind of Baxter's cat too. So
that's good at least.
He got to see it, but yeah, Baxter's happy about it. And Baxter, man, that's another complete different story, man. That kid is too much. Now this guy's living in Kensington. This guy's doing everything.
Holla, long Baxter short the market.
Go ahead, yeah.
No, I'm saying long Baxter short the market.
Short Baxter.
You're not shorting Baxter.
I have to. This guy's costing me too much money. I need to make it back somehow. I get.
Flush it.
All
right. Flush the stocks, except for well, apparently there are things going to the upside. Like people talking about Faraday in there. I don't know. Maybe there's some small caps going up. So Tesla did turn off that 214. It just tagged 213 with a bounce. But what happened yesterday was the huge reversal and off a huge move to the upside. So if that's happening again here today, I want to give this at least until VWAP. We did take the first short that did not win. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you do that, at least you'll be telling us you enjoy the show. Whether you like stocks going up or down, trading is about trading whatever the market's giving you. And right now, that's a reversal just like yesterday. So I just got VWAP on INTC. I think we want to continue that short. But make sure you take your profits. Bank them if you can, because as quickly, like look at Tesla. We were just in the money $1. Make sure we grab it, but it's running the highs again. This is a strong stock. This is how you stay in the pocket. Understand that the market can reverse on an absolute dime at any particular moment. A firm's looking okay, but let's go over to Adara at the desk.
So we have to be a pretty good morning here for Faraday Future FFIE. This one near high of day, trying to break above that $5 level. Not seeing any news on this, but it does run semi-frequently. A short float here of about 11%, market cap about $42.5 million. So FFIE once again here on Watch, guys.
We go, wake up, boy. Let's go, wake up. Let's keep going on that one because, yes, look what's happening today. What a difference a day makes here. There it is. There's our 104. We talked about that could be a spot there where we'd want to get out. So we got out, man. We're only holding now 20% of our position. That was a great out. It was literally 104.05 or 104.15. 104.15 out right there right now. We did get a little bit of a reload. We could be wrong on Amazon, and we're fine with that. If it takes out this level here of 170, I was going to use 175. Where did I put my stop, just to be exact? It was a break of 175. So if we break above on this one, we'll take the L, obviously, here. Wow, Nvidia just ripped right back upside into VWAP again.
AMD is flying.
Right.
Now.
Okay, Faraday Futures also. We didn't mention that. I don't know what to talk about anymore. There's so much stuff happening. Faraday actually halted. I guess Randy took that $1 or $2 and bought some shares here on Faraday because that's a nice move up there. We know it was reverse split and all that kind of stuff, but there goes Faraday Futures now up 45%. And it looks like, we will have to, I guess, get out of this. I mean, here goes the futures up to zeros now. Like we could get back to flat on the day for the NASDAQ. And if that happens, then one of the strongest names, Amazon, may not work to that downside. We've already taken some out. Here comes Nvidia. Remember where our stop was? We were going to use 107 right there as our stop, but we don't need to be layered into this one. You don't want to give back what you've made because you make one or two bad decisions. So okay, there it is. So that's our last fill right there. Our stop is already in. If it breaks 107, we gone there on Nvidia. Good little trade there, though, picking up some shares on the high side.
Yeah, so I was saying there was a big bounce in the market just now. VWAP got reclaimed on AMD, so it didn't get to 139 that second time. It did just bounce off of 140 in VWAP. If it loses that local bottom, this is 139.94 out of 3 minutes, so just underneath the 140 level. I'm going to throw the stop. If we get to the high of the day, that's going to be 141, and I do want to respect that. So if we get to that high, I want to get some out. Join the trend into the upside on advanced micro devices. The other thing that happened, Dollar Tree was one heck of a short. Dollar Tree should just rename themselves to Dime Tree at this point because it's going to get to the COVID low. It popped, it faded, it's still fading. It's at $65. It's through. Pull up a weekly chart and then just count all of the prices that it's chewing through right now. I'm not chasing this move. Obviously, I think that would be a little bit reckless. The only thing I can think about is maybe if it does some kind of a pop, look to short the pop. What can you do? I'm going to stop a big fail on myself. You heard me say I prefer shorting that one to the other thing that was down was Zscaler. I should have been in the short. But Tesla got to the price first, and so I went over to Tesla and lost. But that was a big one. I'm going to have a bite of my apple fritter and see where we can get back into the long of AMD after taking some out off of VWAP.
Yeah, man, it's always nice to take, relax, take a little bite out of life right there. All right, 174. So as the market's going, I mean, we probably get green. So we'll have to think about what stock is strong and what stocks we want to go long on. Now, I thought that Apple yesterday, when we were talking about 222 and then 220, I mean, we're still short Nvidia. I mean, we're short Nvidia at 16s here. So 106.16s. We're out of the money now, 30 cents. So that's what's happening on Nvidia. We did get that last short there at 40s, and we got out at 106.10s or whatever that was at the 50 period. We're going to try to see if there's something actionable down here at VWAP before we really lose our mind. Amazon, just good short there. We took some at 174.50. We average it out here at 40s. We're still short on Amazon, but we're short at the 20 level. So that's not a profitable trade as of yet, as Amazon's trying to pull back in. Well, I mean, it's a profitable trade because we've taken out profit, but not like the huge winner that I would like to see. So we'll put another bid here, low teens, see if it floats down into VWAP. And then if we break that, then let's see about a little bit of a bottom push now for Amazon. We didn't quite get it, so we're waiting for that one. And then Nvidia is going the other way. The other name that I wanted to check out on was Uber, because we thought that 71 was going to be in jeopardy, but it's going right back up to the upside. So as that, Bank of Canada lowers. Oh, I just heard in my ear. So Bank of Canada lowers interest rates there, another quarter point. Needed. So good for mortgage talk, but we'll see what that means about the Canadian economy. Let's just go over here and quick. Weakness in economies pulling CPI down. They're just talking about it, but here's Royal Bank of Canada not doing a heck of a lot on this move. So I believe that was, and it's funny, like way more in tune with what's expected in the United States than it is in our own country. But right there, I believe that was expected. So another 4.25 overnight rate. So there it is. All right, Nvidia, here we go, 106, man. It looks like it wants to break one more time upside. If it breaks 107, we're gone. And we'll say, okay, we learned our lesson early, but now we're getting out, and let's try to play momentum here with Nvidia. Just a little punch out. We're going to let it settle down here so we can get grips on that one again. We're still waiting out for Amazon and FF. I see someone in the chat. I'm glad we at least talked about it. It just halted again upside. So FFIE, bang. Now its tap is 650. So you're up $1 higher already in the auction market here into the reopen of that one. Amazon now 107.50. Amazon, Nvidia starting to go higher here. Maybe this is just the long, right?
Well, I mean, it might be as the Nasdaq's going up, but AMD just came down. So the Nasdaq broke the highs. Okay. Like, okay, well, that should be good for the chip long, but it's not. AMD just lost VWAP. The first move got us 140 into about 140.80, and then we just lost VWAP. So going to have to look for something a little different here. It's not what I was expecting for to be up 2% with, I mean, everything flying. Like everything I'm looking at is looking pretty strong. Tesla's still going. Nvidia is now going. Everything's looking relatively strong here. Need AMD to rejoin that party. Intel's actually about to get back into some of those highs. So it had the wick through 20. Now you're actually breaking higher as well above VWAP on INTC. So a lot of things are looking incredibly strong. Ooh, I just got a reload as well in a Firm. So Firm got all the way down into like 39.80. I thought it was going to be a flush zone. Suddenly, you're hunting right back into yesterday's lows, right? So yesterday's lows, that's me the out. We had it on the initial break. It stopped at yesterday's lows, and we got it short again. It went all the way down like 70, 80 cents. Now we're shorted at the same price with the same out on a Firm. But everything's looking very, very strong in this moment. All right, I got to get back over to Intel. Like, if the only thing that hasn't broken highs that I'm watching, outside of obviously AMD, is Intel's about to retest that 20 level. So as long as it's underneath the 20, I want to give it that shot again. Let's go to Adara.
Quickly go over that Canada interest rate decision there. So the Bank of Canada, that was in line with forecasts to just have the CAD to the USD ratio here. It was a little bit higher now, kind of forming slightly flat to slightly positive here on the day. We did have the decision here of 4.25% rate. So the forecast was 4.25% in line with expectations. That was a 25 basis point cut from the previous year of 4.5. So just to quickly summarize that BOC rate decision, guys.
All right, so we are a tale of two stories here a little bit. All right, I put it that if it breaks 107, there's Nvidia right here. So here's Nvidia actually breaking higher. I didn't think it broke there, so it did. So I actually got long before it broke, but it's still going the upside. We're going to try to play momentum. We talked about that today. If the momentum was going to be upside, let's try to get it. It just breaks that high that we just put in at 107 flat. Like if this market goes, right, we sort of want to be on this name. All right, Amazon there. Nice move down. We got some nice covers. Let's get another one at 174 as that name continues to go one way. All right, so Nvidia, we're long right now. I'm just going to give this back to that little spot right there, 106.80. And if it doesn't go up and it fails off that level, let's just take small little shots at this name. Okay, here we go. Nvidia 107.80s we're sitting at right now. Let's put an offer. Oh, we just missed it. Let's go to 78s. There it is. We get that. Okay, here we go. Now we're starting to get, there we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a hot dog kind of day right now for us here. Let's see if we can get going now. We were short early, man. We talked about that. That was a good cover, obviously at 104 that we lost. We lost it right there on the day. On the move up higher through 107, and then we're back long now. And it's not a huge win. It's just 30 cents. Let's see if it can get a little bit there. We looked at that 112 area for Nvidia. I still think that's an area of support maybe, or of resistance maybe. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to, I mean, that's, yeah, I guess you come into here 108 coming into a play, and that's where we're at right now. So 108 maybe goes all the way back here to sort of that day when we dropped down into 90s, came back to 108, then dropped again. So we have to watch out for that play. Now that I see this 108 and change, maybe we should get out of some shares here as we just bounced literally off that top. I mean, we got a bunch of fills up there, so it's okay. And right now, almost back into the dollar club goes Amazon as that's trying to get near the bottom. We'll put some more bids down here, 107.70 or sorry, 107, 173.70 about to fill on Amazon. That's where we're sitting.
So I got to respect the fact that there's clearly like a trend forming on Intel since the open. There you go. You guys can see it. There's your trend from pre-market at the open, just after initial short 120 failed, and then this last little dip held this trend line. So if we cannot break this to the downside, I don't think I want to be adding to shorts. I'm going to try profit in front of it. If we can, if it breaks 20, this could start to turn into a long. Like this could easily consolidate here, break out the top, and then the trend is just clean to that upside. So got to respect that. That's what I'm looking at. Where are we? Tesla is still just an absolute rocket ship to the up. 217.
Still?
Thank goodness. Well, that could have been nasty, but Dollar Tree still doesn't want to really pop. This is the first bounce that I'm seeing here in Dollar Tree. So if it gets to VWAP, I'm looking for a fade on Dollar Tree. I wanted to short the first pop. This would be the first available one for me if it makes a pull into VWAP. It's about $67 for DLTR. Let's go to the desk, Adara.
This part of the show is brought to you by Benzinga Pro. Tired of being late to the trade? Always playing catch up in the market? Missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else, pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving, and join a thriving community of traders. Share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Adara.
Check those guys out. Benzinga, I mean, we got the news in our ear. That's where we got that sort of that update there about Bank of Canada and whatnot. So, okay, here we go. Okay, we're short. So we're kind of doing it again here, although it's 952. There goes Nvidia, nice break lower here. We're only long here at 30s, but it is breaking lower, back down through 107 now. So maybe that top was just what we had seen there. 106.75 was the bottom. That was where we're going to get out. So let's wait to see if that does break. We're going to give ourselves 50 cents worth of a shot here. I mean, I think that's what we've been trying to do. Hold out for a little bit more, see if we can get it, and try to play names the right way. Nvidia was down at 2 and a bit percent, now only down 1%. And the market went to highs and then faded again off 19,000. So maybe that's going to be a level. We can look at the TQQs for futures plays there as well. But it looks like Nvidia, again, maybe we'll just look somewhere else because right now it's not really giving any consistent movement. Move down, now move up, now settling. So let's let it settle down. If it does break lower, we'll get out of that and regroup it. Amazon is still 40 cents in the money, and we're kind of just net right now on both these stocks. So, I mean, obviously we wish Nvidia to go up, but we're very close to getting stopped out of NVDA here underneath 107.
So there's a lot of things moving. I acknowledge, Tesla and Chewy are apparently going. So there are some squeeze names. Tesla, GameStop and Chewy, I mean, are going to the upside, so want to acknowledge it. But my focus right now is, A, the trend on Intel. If it holds that trend to the upside, looking for a reversal. The market takes 19,000. If the market takes 19,000, I want to look for some reversal plays. And Intel, if it can hold through that 20, does look like one. Dollar Tree's bouncing upside here. I don't know how far this is going to be able to get. VWAP sits at 67. That's a reasonable level. When I pulled out the daily chart, 68 was a big level if you go all the way back to 2020. Crazy on Dollar Tree. So anywhere in that range, I'm looking for that pop and fade here on Dollar Tree. Starting to look a little bit better, but it's down 19%. And I'm not thinking about any longs in Dollar Tree. So FFIE for everybody out there, I did put in the tap. It's now 608. So the theoretical auction price is now 601. Halted a second time. It's still going up. Bit of a squeeze play on FFIE. I think there's some sympathy squeezes if I had to guess as to why GameStop and Chewy and FFIE are all headed to the upside. Looks like they're just kind of all going together in this moment. I'm not chasing any of these at the top. I don't know the reason why Chewy and GameStop are up.
All right, so we're going to go try to get roughly about 1-to-1 on these reloads here as NVIDIA's back to 107.50, so that's going to be a good call, hopefully, as they come back upside. And there it goes. Let's go, man. We're in the 70s now at the day's high. Back into the day's high right now for NVIDIA. I'm at 70. Like, if it just stops there at 66s, I'd be surprised. So let's see if we can get higher there. I'm not going to change my offer right now, although maybe I will. Let's put an offer at 63. See if we get that one. Wow, we just missed that move higher. We were at 70. I think it went to 68 there, so that's going to suck. Oh, no, come on, man. All right, so maybe it's not our day here on NVIDIA. It just rips all the way up there, and we are waiting right here at 70, right at that top. Let's see if it can get going again up there. Oh, man, we missed that by 2 cents. Okay. It was just a small piece anyways. All right, Amazon, another out there at 174. Like, this name's not going down, apparently, so we'll just scalp it out, put money in our pocket on this name. Hopefully it does make that fall down. Wow, NVIDIA, you really just did that. Okay, nice little dip down now for NVDA. I mean, if the market's not gonna go, neither will this, I feel like, but it's definitely stronger than I had thought today. So let's see if NVIDIA now just wants to keep on working, right? I don't want to panic and get out our
Remember Jolts in 5 minutes.
Yeah, Jolt's job offerings. All right, so yeah, that's a good call.
I'm thinking like
I'll put something in the 30s.
I'm sort of thinking I don't want to jump into something in the 3 minutes before Jolts. So like means no reload of a position. The only thing I might take a trade on still would be Dollar Tree. I'm going to wait till the other side of the Jolts report to have another look at a few things. So Tesla, thank goodness we got away from that. Like, it's just absolutely flying. I'm not thinking 220 is the big level, but until it gets to 220 or we get that Jolts, we're just going to have to be patient and waiting for it. It's Dollar Tree and a VWAP. I almost don't care about it does matter, but I feel like this is flying around because it's SSR. And if we pop on the number, we're $1 away from VWAP anyways, and that's the place that I wanted to grab this. So I'm just going to be a little bit patient with most other names or any reloads for the next 3 minutes. But Dollar Tree looks like it's going to be a good one. There is some movement still in that FFIE for everybody, although it's looking like it's about to fade the $6 level. Like, it broke out after the reopen, got to 640, and then slammed back into the downside on Faraday. So there is some selling going on. I'd be careful about the back end of that. And if this goes to the downside, watch out. Chewy's forming a bit of a top as well. So both of these possibly coming back in, some of those squeeze plays. That I'm not reloading Intel. If it takes out this local high, I'm getting out before Jolts. If it pops and fails the break of 220 after the number, then I would look for a reload. And if it breaks this trend, that's another reason why I might jump and add to the short position. But for now, we're just going to play it by ear. I'm seeing a lot of people talking about Apple as well. Apple taking it on the chin and breaking 219. Really? Yeah, it's... See, I'm still feeling bearish about some things here. When Apple's breaking down like this, sorry about that, my daily chart's not really loading there. When Apple's breaking down like this, it's hard for me to feel that great about the market taking out these highs. So Apple looking rather weak.
Yeah, not a good one there. I was going to go over there for strength from yesterday. But what's weak is right now is Amazon starting to break a little bit lower. We did pretty good, man, to getting out of NVIDIA there. We did not have that very best print. We have a bunch in the 50s trying to go 1 for 1, but we are very, very close to getting broken right here. So we'll see. And I don't think it's necessarily to be involved in a name like this, especially with the jobs number coming. We know that can push the market one way. All you need is just for it to flush a little bit, and we'll get stopped out here, breaking through 175. So I'm well comfortable with that trade, and that does suck, man. We'll go one for someone in the chat saying, I saw it saying, oh, we're all wrong. I mean, I'm 1 for 2 today with a good one right here on Amazon. We will be red on Nvidia. Just, you know, that last trade right there kind of broke lower. So we'll get out of that, and that's what happens. So we'll wait to see what happens right here with only 2 minutes to go. Looks like we want to push a little bit lower on this. That was such a great fill down there. I mean, I don't know how you know to get long or short on that move, but we covered some, which was good, right? If we don't have that cover, maybe a little bit of a different story there. But here goes Faraday, just opens back up and now keeps going higher and higher and higher. Looks like it might halt again. Just opened up at 587. It just needs to go, probably breaking through 650, gets that a halt again right there on Faraday. So get ready. Uber is green. Okay, that could be something that we look at there. And then I know Neil was on Affirm, but Affirm trying to hold 41. I haven't looked at that.
So yeah, a lot of things are going green. It's just, I did get a dollar tree. It's the first red candle since that opening push to the downside. At least it would be. It curled at 66, but we got the JOLTS number and happening now in seconds. Let's get to the desk with Adara.
Biggest number right now is going to be that JOLTS job openings number for the month of July. Consensus here, 8.1 million, previous 8.184 million, just a couple seconds until we get that number, along with factory orders and core durable goods here for the month of July. We did get JOLTS here much lower than expected, so 7.673 million versus estimates of 8.1 million. Factory orders month over month slightly above expectations here, 5% versus the consensus of 4.7%, but much higher than the previous print, negative 3.3%. Factory orders ex transportation 0.4%, higher than the consensus of negative 0.2%. And we also got core durable goods revised slightly lower than expected, 9.8% versus 9.9% expected. As far as JOLTS job quits go, still waiting on that number, but generally here, that much lower than expected. JOLTS job openings worth noting. Also worth noting, they revised the previous number here down to 7.91 million. Big move down in the market on the largest volume candle of the day so far for the S&P 500, with that coming out again in case you missed it. Much lower than expected JOLTS job openings number with a downward revision as well. So interesting look there for the S&P 500 for the whole market. A lot of things losing the bottom here. We do have AMD still up about 1.3%, but continuing to fall here. Initially trading higher after announcing the appointment of former Nvidia AI exec here, Keith Stryer. We also have Zscaler on watch here, along with Dollar Tree with earnings. Zscaler in particular getting quite a few price target cuts after having lower than expected guidance. What a day, guys.
That's a candle.
Drop it down.
That's what, and that's sort of the thing. You know the number. We talked about JOLTS yesterday with Justin, but that's a nasty candle to the downside. I was on the bid already of Intel and got taken out. Like, he went right into those previous support levels and went right in 1970. We had just gotten a Dollar Tree. I said I was going to take that short regardless. It curled off 66. I got 72s. It just bounced off 65 even. Current low of the day, 64 even. If it bounces again off 64, I want to take that one out. But that is a huge reversal on a lot of names just now. And taking it on the chin, we'd already said Apple was taking it on the chin. Certainly that one is trying to find a bid. It touched 218 almost even down there. So that one's starting to look a little bit nasty. Tesla's recovering. That one's still a little bit strong. So Dollar Tree is the only thing I'm in right now, as that did a little bit of a bounce to give us the first fade. Possibly should have been short earlier, but you just doing whatever you can. Let's get to the downside over here.
Brankles. All right, spin it right now. We just crushed Amazon, so shout out to all those guys out there. We are nicely positive. Let's go spin it again. We're long Nvidia down here, man. We bought those dips down there at that 105.80 first, and then we got 106 and change on the break higher. We busted that through there on Nvidia, so we let it fall down. Then we take the long right there break. So we take the long there, first of all, once we see that that's holding. So again, that's about 30 cents worth of risk at most. And then we break it higher right now on NVDA. And oh boy, was Amazon. Look, we have two trades today, man. One was short 174 on Amazon. We had that. We just covered it at 173 at 10 or whatever that one bid is, maybe even 173 flat. It's Nvidia that's been sort of the Jekyll and Hyde trade for me today. And we'll be happy with it, man. This goes through 107. We'll be positive on Nvidia, so we're really liking that one. And then, of course, P&L number one today will be Amazon. So we're really happy with the way this trade has worked out for us. We'll take another fill here at 78. I want the market to now rip. I mean, that was a huge move down on the NASDAQ, man. You could have just easily bought that bottom. I went over there to TQs and was like, do we want that one? But Amazon was absolutely screaming. And there it goes now. Nice move up for NVIDIA, man. It's a dollar club right here. Let's see if we can get back through this 107 area for NVIDIA. Nice move. We've already taken $1 on Amazon. Here goes NVIDIA. Try to get through 107. We just said that would be a spot, and we did not. Did we get a fill up there? Oh, we got a couple. All right, let's go again. Let's see if we can break through 107. Oh, no, Fed's Bostic now speaking.
Yeah,
so,
he's gonna make...
all right, Bostic, all right. Yeah, I will in a second, don't worry. Here we go, 106.90 coming through right now. Another out for NVIDIA. Hit the sirens, man. Good day turning out to be right here. What's up, A?
Potentially part of the reason here for that bounce that we can't know for sure is right after we get that news around 10:02, we start getting comments here from Fed's Bostic, who was not initially on the calendar that I could see, saying that, quote, we must not maintain a restrictive policy stance for too long. Also saying here that, quote, a soft landing for the economy may be within reach. So some generally dovish comments coming out of here from Fed's Bostic, though the market coming right back down. We'll keep an eye and let you guys know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that little shock by Bostic, let's let it calm down, because it looked like I was almost ready to put a re-entry on a breakout on AMD there, and we just pulled right back into VWAP. So AMD's managed to not get to the 139 unless you had that crazy candle. Liquidity down there was almost non-existent. It's about 139.5 it's holding, 140s around VWAP. Let's see where it settles. If it does settle back underneath 140, then I should be targeting 139.5 as an entry point instead of VWAP. VWAP no good on this name. A breakout of the top is certainly in play as well. I don't really mind that notion. Gonna go back over to Intel. Now, I said if the trend broke, that would be a reason to add, but that was an acceleration on the number to the downside, so I still want to be short this as long as it's underneath the trend and underneath that $20 level. We'll take that if we get a bit of a pop on INTC, and then back over to Dollar Tree. It's an SSR name. It's short sell restricted. Sometimes you look longs. I'm actually looking short. I trailed it to break even because it caught a bid at an even dollar level. So instead of entering at longs on even dollar holds, I just want to get conservative when it makes an even dollar hold. So it pulled underneath 66 to 65. I got 72s as a short because you can't hit the bid. So understand that when it curls off a level, you can sit on the offer and get taken out as it goes up. But the price that you get when it breaks down an even dollar is just wherever you happen to get the fill. Still looking at VWAP for Dollar Tree over there, and we'll see what happens in Intel, just trying to get back into the upside. And then AMD, which was our initial long, took the L on it. It's starting to look a little bit better. But look how choppy this is on AMD. Clear support underneath 140, clear resistance at about 141. Now I have to play off those levels now that they're established. Forget about the 140 even. That was just a round number.
All right. Right, just looking here at what we're doing. So we only have two positions, and I'm pretty happy with them both, and I think we'll just sit on them for a minute. That is going to be NVIDIA. We just took a piece out at 50. We're long right here now, 106.25. It's not like a super amazing trade yet. I do think we can still break that 107. That's kind of what we're waiting for. We're above VWAP. We're above everything. We're going to give this to 105.50 if it breaks lower. We only have now about... We have about a third of the shares that we had. We'd learned our lesson, man. We got a lot out here in the 60s and 70s when it came up. So because we did remember, we already bought 90s. Sorry, I said 80s before. We had bought 90s on the downside, right? And so it was already sort of working out for us. And then we just pushed it higher when we broke through VWAP, thinking like, let's go. And it did go, right? It got to 107 and change before stopping, basically 107 flat. So let's pay attention to that. Hopefully we'll be able to take advantage of a higher move up. If not, Amazon will hopefully fall back in. And we already got, like, look at these fills. When that number came out, and it's a good thing we were flat heading into the number because it allowed us to sort of let this, well, we weren't flat, but we were getting flat. We let it drop back in. We didn't have any bids. So once this fell in, we weren't just covering at the same spots. We let it come back in to be right. So that was a good play. Now we're starting to rip higher, which is fine by me, man. There goes Nvidia. We just, oh no, I thought I was at 107. Oh, we got to put an offer there. Oh no, there it is. Yes, sir, 87s. So there we go, man. It's $1 right now on, and okay, now it's much more than that as Nvidia's trying to go back up. There it is. Now it's $1 on Nvidia, trying to get back up to the upside right now. That 107.60, let's put an offer there. Let's go 107.50. Maybe we'll get that fill, and then we can go after that. So far, so good here on a little bit of a push higher So far, Nvidia could print 108. That'd be nice if that was the case there. Trade forever, or whoever wrote that, trade forever. Yeah. All right, 107.40s just touched out on. We'll sit there and see if we can get a fill.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, anything can happen. 108's only $1 away. It is that high. I have the high at 90 or something like that, like 107.90. I don't know, our thing is wrong. I have to look at the chart. It says like 107.90 is that high. So it would be a flat top breakout and a double top, which is the same thing AMD is going to try to do any second now, which is take out the morning highs. So if I can't get that support level again, we're going to have to jump on the breakout trade. Like I said, the only thing that I'm still thinking, I'm obviously GitLab at VWAP, but Intel underneath that trend, it still can't seem to hold above VWAP. It's starting to look a little bit different from the other names that I'm seeing. When you're pressing highs on Nvidia and pressing highs on AMD and pressing highs on the market, and it's lower highs once again on Intel, that leads me to thinking short. So if it holds VWAP, great. I have to wait for the 20 level. If it doesn't, I'll look for the short underneath VWAP. But I feel like AMD is very, very close to breaking this top. We're on the dip. Said we liked it back into 139.50, but the next thing that's going to happen, I think, is going to be this 141.20 break. It's not an even dollar break. The high is about 141.20 in here, and there goes Advanced Micro Devices.
Let's go.
Just broke that high of the day, so AMD's breaking the top. The Nasdaq's actually at 19,000, so we actually have not broken the high yet on the Nasdaq. We're adjacent to it, but the market does seem to want to go through some of these tops, and it's doing its best effort. Dollar Tree's close to VWAP, but not yet. I do still want to short that name, but remember, it's SSR. So careful entries on any SSR entry. For me on Dollar Tree, you might see that pop in if I get a wick above VWAP in 67. So AMD's flying. The Nasdaq's at 99.2s, 18,992, and trying to make that break of the high of the day. But the market, Recovery Wednesday, is certainly looking like it's on.
All right. You know, we talked about this yesterday, what a difference a day makes right there. I mean, and this is what's happening right here again today. We are now $2 in the money on this Nvidia trade. So it's a good one coming through again here for that. So there it is, man. Now up huge on this trade. So it's starting to work out for us now. Up that $2. I mean, congratulations to anybody that's been sort of trading this Nvidia with me here, as you will be up, obviously, on that name today. And then Amazon. We have two trades today, Amazon and Nvidia, both of them well traded. So what we like that. We like that kind of talk here today. As the market just continues to sort of do a little bit of a dance here. Now going to 19,000. Neil just well spotted on that one. All right. Hey, man, let's get another piece out. I'm on Nvidia. We just ripped up there. Neil mentioned that we just came into that 19,000.
We just pulled back.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was going to say. It's a nice little pullback right now in Nvidia as well. So we missed that complete top. Let's sit there. I actually offered 37s. I can't believe that actually turned out to be the top. Let's see if it comes back in there and do that one. But there it is again, man. It's a nice little smooth $2 winner.
Yeah, nice one over there. As I said, we just got to 19 again and pulled back a little bit. So anything that I was thinking short, you know what? No, Dollar Tree's not even there. It's got to be back over on Intel. I just put my stop in. Well, it's a trailing stop, I suppose, because we got some out on AMD. I might look reload, but there's another test of the high, and it's another lower high on INTC. So it's starting to come back in. See if we can get some 90s. Oh, in mid-90s, I should say, not 90 even. The mid-90s on Intel. If it breaks 20, I'm just going to jump out of this trade. I still think this can be a reversal because it's got higher lows on it into a flat top. It's so badly beaten up that if it does break out this top, there's so much room for it to rally. But until that happens, I got to go with the grain. And with the grain on this stock has been short.
Right.
So it is what it is. I understand the market's flying. This is still down 1%. I'm going to get some out VWAP and then that 1970. Anything that made a bottom right around when the number got dropped, I want to respect that level. So if that's where the buying came in on the number, I suspect that's where the market makers might start buying it again. So that'll be around 1965 to 1970. But VWAP first here on Intel as well. Oh, good note. Oscar just said we should be looking at DraftKings. NFL starts on Thursday. I haven't looked at DraftKings. There's a lot of chip names to get through first.
Yeah. I don't, you know, NFL, I mean, college football's already started. I don't, you know, we talk about sort of what creates these things to go up and go down. I don't know if something that we sort of know is happening. Again, remember, stock prices are what's going to be happening in the future. Is there going to be more betting happening on DKNG? I mean, I think so. So I don't mind this look. I mean, I've talked about DraftKings before and how much that I personally kind of like the stock down here at some of these levels. So I'd be foolish to say that I don't. But again, I'm not sure what kind of pain is left on the NASDAQ, to be honest with you. So that's kind of like where I am in all of this. But I like DraftKings. That's the daily chart right here, trying to break higher, up 2%. Look at that respect of the 50 period. I think it was a nice move up right now on DKNG, so I'd look for 34. I think a 34 flat or so fill somewhere in around there makes the most sense for me. So I think that would be a pullback area for DKNG. We could have just got out again at 108. We're not doing that on DraftKings. On Nvidia. Now you got me thinking. So I'm just going to wait and see if it goes. We already have our out here, man. Maybe breaking back below this 106, 105.50 would be another area there. We did get a nice pullback, so we'll go another one. On Amazon. We'll go 2 for 2 today. And what a difference a day makes, man. Yesterday at this point, we were like scrambling because the market was tanking and we didn't have the right positions on. Today, very, very comfortable sitting here and trading this way. So 108 and change. I think now we can put another offer up there if we can catch another 4 more up here. I think is decent. So let's try. Well, I mean, we still have. I think Nvidia can get to 110. So that's why I'm pretty hesitant right now to even drop anything out. I mean, that level right there is 109.60. I do have an offer at 109.50, so hopefully that can come into play. But I think on a strong push here, Nvidia, there it goes. Nvidia takes out the highs and continues to climb higher. So yeah, man, I like the stock and I'm actually not offering it. So let's see what winds up happening right now with Nvidia, and 109.50 is the target for me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, just one thing. I saw someone in the chat just say, zoom out a little bit. If you do zoom out on the futures, you're going to find this 1900 is a pretty big level. Consolidation off the bottom here on the NASDAQ. ES, it's trying to break back out over prior support. So this would be a big level on the ES, this 55.5 and all that good stuff that we're looking at. I got out of AMD when it failed that breakout. So the initial break was pretty solid. And then I also said I would take VWAP on Intel and then look for a break. If it gets to 75, I'm going to take another out there as it holds on to the trend. So yesterday's lows on Intel are turning into that $20 level is turning into the clear resistance spot here. AMD, there's your break. There's your pullback into VWAP. Now it's trying to hold on to VWAP, looking for the VWAP re-entry. Just want to see the buyers come right back in there. The breakout gave you a nice little 50-cent move, but then it came right back in. So retesting VWAP as the market is looking like it's trying to consolidate up the top. It does need to take out that high if we're going to get enough continuation. I know Apple's moving around and all that good stuff, but I'm still sticking to the chips at least for now. They're the ones I want. Okay, some buying starting to come into AMD. See if we can pick that one up in front of VWAP, which is about the quarters on advanced micro devices. I know we still have some of those small cappers that are running around, but I still like AMD here. I like the trend that we're forming. If we break out the high, I want to get all the way to 142, 143, like this zone. Just try to take it station to station. If we've now got an upward trend, it's a buy the dips, sell into the highs, at least until we get to 142 for myself on advanced micro devices there. Tesla, I'm trying to be very patient with. I liked it at previous resistance spots, but look how far it went. At this point, not chasing it long, and 220 was such a big level yesterday that I would tend to think if it gets to 220 and fails the top, I'd be looking for a reversal, especially if we can't get through that 19,000 zone. If we never break 19,000, this market has come some way, but it hasn't gone enough. Only 0.3%, and that's to the downside, actually.
Stupid hot dog guy. All right, so Amazon, we got, okay, actually we can do this one.
All right.
There it is. I mean, 175 against 175. Yeah, right. We take it right there. So this is going to be a nice little reload long. We've got short there, 174. Sorry, reload short. 174.78. Oh man. Okay. Good trade here on this stock. You know, when you're doing good and when you're feeling it, you are. Yesterday was not. Today we are. And just to tell you guys, like honestly, the number one name here today on the floor by far is Nvidia, and it's just a change of pace a little bit here. It's not because of me. I mean, we're up. This will be a good stock, but it's been well traded here today. You could see sort of the dip buys, and whenever we hold kind of levels like that, for me, it just becomes that much easier. When you're holding these kind of levels down here, down here 106, 107, when you sort of had VWAP and you sort of had everything come together there, when it holds, it just becomes easier. A lot of traders, believe in these kind of dip buy opportunities yesterday. And I told you this yesterday. Remember, there was no dip buy, so everyone got railroaded. Today, completely different situation, right? Big day, and that's kind of what we expect to have. When the stocks move the way you think they're going to move, there you look to have some decent days on that. So yeah, we'll give it a shot here. Let's see if we can go upside on Nvidia, but we just did fail. We're still $1 in the money on this play, so we'll give it a little bit of a chance here. I'm fine holding it. I will try to reload it, maybe in and around VWAP. Let's see if this market can hold and if Nvidia can hold as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what? You want to pay attention to this, because it's a game changer for stock traders.
You can get funds to trade stocks and don't even have to be a professional trader. Anyone can join.
Trade the Pool is a prop firm that funds stock traders worldwide. No more risking your own money and no more PDT rule. You can even get funded up to $260,000 worth of buying power.
Wow, that's a nice amount there. You can trade real shares. You can even short penny stocks as well. And the best part about it is you do not trade alone. Trade with other traders in Trade the Pool community on Discord. So search it up right now, tradethepool.com, and you'll find all the information you need. Just hit that QR code right there. I really wish, Neil, that there was something like this when I started trading. It is truly amazing. Join the team there on Trade the Pool, get into their Discord, and see what that's all about. We want to thank Trade the Pool.
There you go. And scan that QR code below as we head on over to Adara. And small cap recap.
Sorry about that. Lots of positivity here. Actually, we try to push green. We do have these higher highs, higher lows, and nice support there. On the Russell 2000, we have the asset as well here, asset entities. One of 3 names here on the small cap recap that is kind of a repeat runner. Asset entities, no news on this one, but a float of just over 1 million shares, currently up here over 50%. We do have WISA here, WESSA Technologies, actually here with a catalyst set to purchase some assets from DataVault for $210 million. So good look for them. And last but not least, we do have FFIE Faraday Futures. This one has reverse split previously here. No news on this one today, but short float of around 11% for FFIE. Lots of repeat names to look at, guys.
Yeah.
So they did make that pull back underneath VWAP in there. It's trying to hold on, but it's now underneath that highest halt price, which usually is a bit of a sign. I'm not saying it's going to turn here, but that last halt was $5.54. It's now trying to hold above. See, every time it's breaking out, kind of losing the bid above that halt price. So it might be a turning spot there for Faraday. I can tell you, Dollar Tree did get to VWAP, and unfortunately for me, yeah, a little bit of a misplaced stop as we're over there trading AMD. It curled. I tried to jump back in at the same price when 66.25 broke, but it's now just kind of falling right back in there. So we'll have to wait around for VWAP. We've been in a couple of times on this bad boy, but unfortunately for Dollar Tree, I'm no longer in that short, down 19% and still absolutely bleeding as well. That ASST is also a bit of a mover here, making the assist to the upside. But my eyeballs are going to likely be on that FFIE. If I trade one of those, I'd pay for locates on FFIE if it can't hold that halt price at all. So Intel's the only thing we're still in. It's basically the same range as before, 1995 to 20 up top, 1975 into the downside as well. And Tesla's still trying to make that press into $220. I still think 220 is a fade on Tesla, just like it was yesterday. And Apple continues to bleed.
All right, we're yeah, the market's coming down as well. So right now, let's I want to give you an update quickly because this did break 175, but as the market was trying to figure itself out, I was like, let's just give it, and it's going to get stopped out again. Let's just give a little bit of a stop out here, breaking through 175.10. So it looks like, okay, so that's it. We're still positive, very positive on Amazon, but it just broke 175 twice. So we're not going to stay on this one. If we're going to be wrong on it, that's fine. I still don't think we really are, but Amazon being still down, still red against the market. I kind of like the short here, but not enough for me to be like all about it. So we'll wait to see what happens here with Amazon and come back to it. So we'll leave that one alone. We'll slap a fail on the last bit, but you guys want it. You guys want some winning trades. Amazon's a winning trade today. It's a good one for sure. We did not reload this at the 200 period, at the 50, which we should have. We were waiting for VWAP down here at 50. So Nvidia does fall down back in there. Now I think we can try to test a little bit more if it does come into those 80s again right there and try to take an 85 fill. We could have taken it. We were waiting for a little bit more. We're trying to be a little more specific on what we're doing. Not shell-shocked from yesterday, but definitely shocked at the move that happened for Nvidia yesterday. So we know it can lose the bid real quick. Real quick. All right, I know you're already in Intel. I know that's right around that $20 mark. I like that trade because it's a $20 even level, so that's going to be good.
Still could break the top. It's very possible it could join the party.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. That's we're long Nvidia, so I will stay positive on chip space now. Try to send its positive energies, but again, Intel and Nvidia,
they're not the same thing.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. Yeah, they're definitely not the same thing. So we'll wait to see what happens there. But I was looking at Disney as a possible strong name. Again, their theme park business, like they still have a lot of good businesses, man. And obviously their IP that exists with everything that they own, that stuff's not going anywhere. It's generational content. It's just, this name continues. They don't have political headwinds anymore. Maybe they do. We'll see what happens on that one, but that's sort of gone by the wayside. And I wonder about an 89. I'm looking here. I'm not buying any more of this stock. It's been beat up a little bit. I still think that these bottoms could have been that washout, which is why we're looking there right now. You could pick some Disney up at any time and then hold it against that 84, 85. I don't think that's a horrible idea considering the potential upside that Disney does have. All right, the other stock that we wanted to look at today was Palantir. We actually have so the names that we have here on our sticky note, and we can look at it. Let's just do that quickly just so you guys can review it. There it is here. What time is it? 10:25. Okay, still a half hour. We do have there's our short on Amazon. But here's right here, Nvidia 105 short sell. We have that trade. We made money. Obviously, we got out at 104, but our short started at 106, and then now we flipped over to the long. That's different. We'll wait for Palantir 31s. That's on here. There's the Amazon 174. So we've only traded Nvidia, positive name, Amazon, positive name. We'll go check out on Palantir. And we actually, 1475 short on Mara was a breakdown for that stock. So we actually didn't get to crypto, I don't think, or I ignored it, and it just didn't come in. So 1475, look at that, man. That's the whole, that happens right there. Wow, that's the bottom of the day there for Mara. As you have to watch crypto. So I haven't been doing that, but that could be something to look at. There we go, man. $1.50 now in the money back on Nvidia.
You say crypto's at what?
That 56.4. Is that lower or higher than it was? We'll have to look it up.
I thought that was lower. Market's at the highs.
That's what I'm wondering.
That's why I was just asking.
Mara was making the move higher there, which is kind of strange. But
that might be. Look, if Bitcoin doesn't break with the rest of. Whoa, what did I just open? Okay, thank you for the ad there on TradingView. Sorry about that. Using TradingView for Bitcoin. No, if Bitcoin can't break out with the market here, I should be thinking fade on Mara. But I'll get to that in a quick little second. I just went trend on Nvidia here. So it's short sell restricted, but it's now attempting to hold a trend from the morning. This is similar to what Intel was doing. And just as I was about to say, Nvidia is going to break and hold this trend line, it then does the reverse. So if it gets back into VWAP, maybe that's a bit of a level, but it might be breaking a little bit of a trend. Still just an Intel. Now I can go over to Mara. Like Mara just wicked the high, and Bitcoin isn't all that strong. And it's not just any high. Zoom out. This is afternoon resistance that Mara couldn't get through, that it just wicked the top on. If we lose 15, this should be a short. I actually had put this level in, not as a top idea because Bitcoin wasn't moving, but 1535 to 1540 looks like a good resistance, presuming that Bitcoin isn't actually breaking any higher. So I'm going to put IBIT up, make sure we have that one available to us, because I don't see a reason not to look at Mara off this resistance based on what I just saw over there in Bitcoin. But it'll be that. Nvidia now with a bit of a trend that I thought it was going to hold. It still can. Trend lines are usually loose things. You can easily just close right back above here. But this could be the first candle closing beneath the trend line. I just drew this looking for a long bounce off of it. And the second I drew it, the first candle on the other side of it is now emerging on Nvidia. But I do like this Mara idea. So if we can get this off the high of the day or failing under 15, this still seems like a short relative to the market. Oh, here comes Tesla 220 as well. All right, 220 incoming on Tesla.
Oh my.
4% to the upside. This is yesterday's obvious turnaround spot, as everyone can see. The 220 level on Tesla. 4% and still going. Strongest thing that I'm looking at that isn't some kind of small cap.
Yeah, I mean, we're $1 in on Nvidia, but definitely not $10 in on Tesla. That's a huge move there. So congratulations again, anybody that's been on that front, man. Tesla's been a beast there today. I'm just going to hold out on Nvidia and wait to see if there's anything else happening right now. Starbucks. All right, so we had sold some Starbucks last week, but I'll have to double check the pricing again on that one. But I think it was in and around 94, which is somewhere around here. But if it was last week, then it would have been a little bit higher, maybe 95.50 or something. Definitely. Oh, that's right. It was the day after this. Yeah. So it was the day after this fail at 98. We got a little bit out, almost all of it out actually on Starbucks in and around $95. We'll see if that is going to be a smart decision or not as we raise a little bit of capital. Nowhere near the capital that we lose, of course, waiting for Nvidia to do something. But all right, so right here, Starbucks looking to break down through the bottom as the market's relatively flat right now, breaking lower here. I just heard in my ear from Ramin, crypto. So we say, okay, to that one. And yeah, so Starbucks right now looking to break that bottom. I'd say 93 looks pretty good to me if we can break into there for Starbucks. And then before I go back, nothing like calling an Uber and sipping on a Starbucks at the same time. One is going one way, one is going the other. It looks like Uber, again, we talked about 71. If it broke, did not break and held, now up $1 from its bottom today. Let's go Nvidia as it's trying to get back up to the high side. No offers on Nvidia, only bids to get more shares. All right, let's go back over to the desk and see what Adair is talking about. I get a feeling that it's going to be crypto.
Two other updates quickly before we get to crypto. We do have some reports here from OPEC delegates that members of OPEC are considering some delays for their production increases. So keep an eye on oil with regards to that story. We also have the Bank of Canada press conference after that rate cut coming here at 10:30 with Gov Macklem. So if you're following the Canadian dollar, could keep an eye on that. Also worth noting here in terms of crypto now to get to this segment, market cap for crypto, according to this graphic here from Coin Market Cap, for total crypto market cap, you're actually hovering around that $2 trillion. So on the cusp of breaking below $2 trillion market cap for the crypto market as of this morning. So certainly a key area. Lots of analysts talking about this 54,000 level here on Bitcoin as a near-term level. You're going to certainly see it coming in here, both on a wick basis and a closing basis on this daily chart, especially on that quote-unquote Black Monday on August 5th. So this could be a pretty key level that we're trying to come into right now. Bitcoin holding on to 56.5s. Ethereum was just below 2,400, now trying to climb back to that level. Both of these down about 2%, though Bitcoin slightly weaker on the day. And generally, we don't have very many positive names here to speak of. USDC's basically flat. Toncoin down 6%. Cardano down 1%. BNB down about almost 5%. Lots of weakness in the crypto space today, guys.
Surprising weakness in the crypto space. Based on what we're seeing with the overall market, like you're getting some strength out there. I'll finish that thought in a second because Mara's not breaking down. I was looking for a short when I saw that relative weakness, but Bitcoin is making a bit of a bounce. So Tesla went through the 220, got to 220 and a half-ish. I think 41's the actual local high. On the way back through, I got 88s. Got the best price in there. So initially looking for fade. If it takes a fresh high of the day, I want to be out. If it gets to 19 and then VWAP, those are going to be the targets to the downside. Try to be patient, waiting for the level as Tesla went to the 220 level yesterday and made its reversal. Mara, it just cannot seem to get off the bid. Market's flying here, and it's very, very slow to make any kind of a bounce. So as long as it's doing this relative to the market, I want to think short. If it's not going to be the high, I need it breaking down underneath 15. I'm just not seeing any crazy price action on Mara. It leads me to think maybe Coinbase is going to give some kind of a trade instead. Coin not nearly as obvious and clean, so I'm not liking it. I'll just stay away for now. Nvidia held that trend line, and now it's above. So there's that trend. It reestablished it. Now you're breaking out the top, so the new trend bottom is 108. That's where I want to try to give this one back into, but I needed to reestablish this and close above the 108, or at least hold above that 108 level. Now for me, want to join it. It was a good SSR bounce earlier, but it wasn't at the 5. It ended up being at the 04 level on Nvidia. So I did miss an SSR bounce on this name. Let's go back to Adara.
Biomer and BMRN halted news pending right after they begin their investor day here today at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, led by their CEO and president. We're noting as well, this is not a small cap. It does have a market cap, from what I'm seeing, about $17.5 billion. So BMRN on watch here, currently halted news pending. We'll keep you guys posted on that.
Okay, so I saw a few people putting that one in there. Remember, if it's news pending, that means there's no definitive opening time. So it's not like I can sit there and show you guys a tap and say, the stock is going to open up, blah, 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 at this time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It might not open back up again today if you happen to be in BRMN. My guess is, given that I've never heard of it, most of you guys have probably never heard of it either. So there's a shot at Tesla. It does break higher. We wait for it to get to the right level, but look at it still continue to go. Immediately reestablishes at 220, and 19,000 just broke on the NASDAQ. So if you wonder, it's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to stay wrong. There's a lot of traders, and it's easy enough to say, I have an out or I have an area that I want to trade off of. That's an easy thing to say. For a lot of people, it's not easy to do. I care more about trying to preserve capital when I'm wrong than proving that I'm going to be right on an idea. But when I was looking for shorts on Tesla at key price levels, I don't mind. Get out tight, get out tight, get out tight. That's how I'm going to trade every single day, because when you're wrong matters more than when you're right in this business, and I've been in a while. So 109, this is a level a bit on Nvidia. If it breaks through the 109 level, I think you got to wait for 111, 112. That'll be up there next. I want to double check on. Remember I said Intel could turn into a reversal trade for me? It's not there yet. But this is where I'm not favoring this reload as much, because we just broke that 19,000 level. So Intel has worked shorting these mid-90s every single time that I've had it. It's starting to look a little bit more perilous this third time through. Or sorry, check that, the fourth time through. This is the fourth time it's come up here. So I'm not automatically reloading this. I need to see it fail the 20s, like get up there, fail back underneath, and then short it on the way down, which we've done before. But this could easily just break 2005, and then I'm going for a long breakout on INTC. So watch out. This one looks like it wants to go in here. I keep getting EVO saying Rivian. I'm not paying attention to Rivian, unfortunately, because my eyeballs right now are Intel at 20, which it's right back to the highs because the market's at the highs. And then Tesla just did this. Nvidia. Another wick underneath 219. Or 220, I should say. So now it's got back into the 19s. I get wicked out and I like the level. I looked away for 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Sweep me back up here. I'm sitting at 70. Sweep me back up because it just wicked the top and still looks valid on TSLA here. But yeah, for the first time ever, you're starting to look a little bit strong on Intel. Through 5s, I'd reverse, but until it breaks it, we'll hang on to the short.
All right, finally. There we go, man. $2.50 now in the money. We were just $3, but we didn't have it. Well, almost $3. It went to 108.80. We weren't here. We got refilled our coffee up there, and now you can see what's happening with Nvidia. It doesn't matter. We didn't have any offers anyways. Our offers are at 109.50. But now that I've seen this fail like that right there, we will. When did that was 107. Okay, we were talking about that when that was there. All right. Yeah. Anyways, we did not have any offers, but now that I see this happening, we are now at 108, 88, 88, 88. So we'll see if we get a little bit of a sale price there. I think if you go to Costco and it's 88s at the end, it's like they're getting rid of it. There's some sort of a thing there, or a 90.
Is that real?
Something. Yeah, it's real. Oh, it's real. Oh,
well,
it's fabulous.
They have codes. They have codes, I guess.
Well, every store does. Walmart does too.
Yeah.
Like if it's 97 at the end or something.
I've heard that for Walmart. I've never heard it for Costco.
Yeah, it's for Costco as well. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't go to Costco.
Products,
So
yeah, they only carry products for so long there. All right, some they carry forever. All right, $30.80. We're at $30.80, but there goes Palantir, nicely done to the upside. It's starting to cook as well. This could be a name. I mean, we're long Nvidia. What a difference a day makes. But right there, I still wanted to try this up here at the 200 period. That's where we're sitting. If you come over to the chart, Ramin, just quickly, we'll show this. Right there, $30.85. That's where we're sitting right now, trying to use 31 as the top. So I still like it. If it comes up there, we'll try to fade that. That's a big move. for Palantir. It's going to have to go green, then push a little bit higher into that. Okay, here we go, into that level. You know what? I'm just like, the net is piling up here. We got to take some out. I mean, I'd hate for Nvidia to fall on its face one more time. Let's wait now in the 60s. It just stopped at 70 right there. So here we go. Go, go, go. We're at 67s. There he goes. $2.50 winner there on Nvidia. We can sip our coffee and now relax. Big time trading, man. We're going to be positive on everything we've traded today. It's only been 2 names. Well in the pocket now. Good day. Green day today, not like yesterday. All right, Nvidia. Yesterday, I was talking about that. It was a hard day in general. I think it's because of the way the trend was, and we sort of went over that. But right now, today, trend is higher. And, you know, for fact, when the longs come in, man, I mean, it's as a floor and as a trader, I feel that traders are generally more comfortable going this way, especially once you get the dip buy opportunities as it was written. So there goes Nvidia right now. It is a $1, a $2, a $3 winner right now. We come back the very next day.
The cat came back the very next day.
I mean, you thought I was a goner, you know.
But the cat came back.
It came back.
The very next day.
The net came back the very next day.
The Catina, I was waiting for you to say the Catina, because that's where we said it. We did it the
I don't
first
want to
time.
overplay. I don't want to overplay.
No, we did that the first time. Yes, Ramin, we're going to sector watch so we can see how badly oil is going to the downside.
Did she not get an apple fritter over there? Where's her apple fritter?
She is being more nice today.
So then you're just being mean to her then? Yeah. All right, over to Adara.
I just heard Neil mention oil there. Oil is one of the weaker sectors of the day, though not significantly selling off here. We did have some updates from OPEC delegates with regards to its production targets. So interesting look there. We also have some sectors relatively flat, notably retail trade with the exception of CVS, pretty flat here. Process industries pretty flat. Communications intermittently very green and flat. A little bit of weakness, though, here in industrials as well. In terms of some of these other sectors with lots of strength, utilities green across the board, commercial services, consumer services, health services generally pretty strong, consumer non-durables, finance notably strong here, and of course we've talked about electronic technology. Though Apple selling off a bit, a lot of these semiconductors, including Nvidia, recovering from its strength. AMD continuing to trade higher after getting one of Nvidia's global AI execs, so interesting look there. And we've also, worth noting here, technology services. This one pretty flat. We do have some strength in names like Adobe, which just got an upgrade or price target increase and upgrade. We have Netflix here trading higher, but it's also worth noting some of these cybersecurity stocks to the downside. CrowdStrike on day 3 or 4 earnings here, trading lower. And we also have PANW, Palo Alto Networks. Zscaler reported, not a well-received report, but PANW also closing its acquisition of some of the SaaS assets from IBM, guys.
There you go. I mean, nothing stands out more on that list than Apple. When the market is flying like this, for Apple to be as bad as it is. It's just a standout. I can't tell you why. There's been so many questions. Why is Apple so weak? But you know what? Apple seems to want to break out. All right, here comes the top. If we break, I said no reload this time on Intel. If we break the top, I'm looking out. And then second, there's buyers holding it above 20. I'm looking reversal on this. You're now at VWAP on Apple. If this joins the party, the market can absolutely fly. And we're through the $19,000 level. You'd love to see it happen. There was a level here at 109 that we're mentioning. Let's zoom it out here for Nvidia. This was afternoon resistance. So if it's going to hold on to the trend, it held the trend and kind of broke that top. If it's going to hold on to the trend, it really needs to make this breakout because it's a steep upward slope here on NVDA. Like to see it hold that breakout price at 108.40. If it doesn't, this could pull all the way back into VWAP. That was an obvious area. You know what? If Intel's not breaking the high, it doesn't get through the high of the day. If it's back underneath 20, I take it one more time. Intel, it looked like it was about to join it to the upside. Even with the market breaking out, it can't seem to hold this $20 on the bid. It's right back to 19.9. If I see that on the offer, I'll re-enter that short. I know MAR is at levels as well, but this is the level at Intel for 20 even.
So I just wanted to go back on that point. So there's been 8 traders trading today, 5 of which, congratulations, are green. And yesterday we didn't have anybody green. So just to tell you about sort of that stat there, about positive v negative days. and how it can affect your mentality, especially as a trader. It shouldn't be like that because you should be able to push the short. But yesterday, I feel like it was always trying to catch bottoms. A lot easier to sit. I think, anyways. It's not easier to sit in longs. It's just when it's working your way. It's not as like yesterday. It was just like, okay, it's coming down to support level. It's coming down to support level. And that's the problem when the market's so heated. You do get nice support levels that you think are going to hold, which of course did not yesterday. So Polestar, why am I seeing something about Piper Sandler here? Okay, just maintains neutral. Okay, Polestar, sorry about this, Sharif. I know it doesn't really matter right now because it's only 10%, but there goes Polestar from 150 down to 124. So we'll see again. Polestar's had a great move, man. From the beginning of August, that's a month ago, Polestar's doubled. So great trade there for PSOK NY. Here we go. It's Nvidia, man. Spin the money one more time. Got to have faith in this play. It did work out, man. We put on, again, good shares on this break. We loaded it up on that dip down. We bought that break higher. There goes Nvidia, man. Nice move to the high side right there. Again, in what was a very boring day for me to trade, but a very profitable one, as Amazon, 1 for 1 on that, although we did lose when it broke 175. We did talk about that, so not 1 for 1, but that's a trade idea that we had. And then right back into our other one here with Nvidia. So we only have 2 trades on. So far so good there. Just looking for, this is a name that's running. I know you're only in Nvidia, so hold on a second here.
Well, Intel hit the high, but then immediately came back underneath. So I might be reloading this one short. It literally just wicked the high very quickly. Just wicked the high, actually reversed and was like immediately selling. So I don't think this is a breakout as much as I did before. The buyers are just not taking this one through. I'm just going to reshort this underneath $20. No change.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I want to say that 109 just came and went again on Nvidia. 19,000 broke. We still are very, very bullish, obviously, on the stock, but there may be a point now where I have to start talking about stop losses. Stop orders. I guess it wouldn't be a loss, but stop order triggering out if we do break back down below, because this could run again to the 50-period moving average, right? And I think that would be a better reload spot. And then we don't want to, again, just reload things that we already have. We want to make sure that we're getting out of a position, just thinking about putting some orders out there. If a break of 108, we can try to get some more if it comes back down to 107.50 instead of just holding on to the ones that we already have. So just a little bit of a talk there, what I'm thinking on Nvidia and a possible out if we do break back down below this 108.37 or spot or so. We only have about 20% left, so it's not the end of the world. We obviously want to try to make as much money as we possibly can, but it's still 60 cents away. So that was a name. The other name that I want to get to here quickly was Roblox. Yeah, Roblox is absolutely ripping today again, man. Just straight upside there. It's only 1.37, but it's well outpacing. We've gotten out of our Roblox. We're still holding a little piece, but we got out in here around 44 and change. We'll double check the prices. The play for me was literally this. We got long at 34 on this break here. So this break here, 32s, and then some more here. Our average price was 34.40 something. And it was to play Roblox for the summer months. So that worked out. That dip was scary there. We weren't here, thankfully, when that happened. Huge move back up to 44 and drop it as summer's now over. So good move there for Roblox, back up to the upside. I'd say this could also be a fade at the top here, but the market may just be taking a little bit of a breather. So you had mentioned something broke out again?
Nvidia broke lines again. It tried to go. It got to 20s there. That was the out for me. It was just a trail out. The trend line that we had in there on the top end of the move just got broken when we lost that 109 level. And as I said on Intel, when I got out of it and reversed, it just came right back underneath. So the buying that was so strong into 20 dried up right in there at 20.02, and now it's just fading back underneath. So I'm back short. I got 98s. I did try to get some at 99s and did not get filled. I'm back on the offer to add underneath 20s. If it makes a fresh high, I get out. If it gets to VWAP, we take profits at VWAP. Don't want to change that plan too much. I do want to go back over just very quickly. Dollar Tree, while all that was happening, Dollar Tree got to VWAP right at 67 and broke down. Remember, it's SSR. So getting that trade as it breaks down, not necessarily the easiest one. So there was a swing and miss on Dollar Tree short at VWAP. But it's heading back into a downward trend, down 19%. If it does another sideways consolidation, I'll look to short the consolidation. Or if it gets back to VWAP, I still have that one on the brain. Mara broke out, so thankfully we don't have to stand in front of that one. It did join the party like everything else, was looking for either a fail of 15 even or a fail at this price. As you can see, not even a red candle within sight of that resistance level. So you're still churning to the upside on Mara. If I see a level like this, if you have a key price level and the market trends away from it, forget about how you intended to trade it initially. If you didn't short it here first, if it just holds above and breaks away, it can just be a long. So that's what I would look for. Can it hold on to that bid? And as I say that, it heads back to the downside. So there you go, Mara. Intel's the one we reloaded. Unfortunately, was not aggressive reloading it in off of that high, and we slip up about a couple of pennies. But if the market pulls back under 19,000, I think it's fair to say Intel, which is still red on the day, is going to be a dog once again.
What's up, ST Mac? Oh no, I'm not. I'm wearing these are just Air Force ones, Air Max 90s. That's all. But I like them. You know, match the blue. You know, got that. Thanks for asking. All right, so we'll continue with this. I think I'm going to get something out at 109. I was looking at Roblox again. We sort of talked about that, but I have 4 other screens on this side, so sometimes what I put on here, I don't actually switch it until we go back. 109. So we failed a couple times at 109. Let's go again. 109 change. So if we can get something, sorry, 108 change. So if we can get something out up there, I'm actually at 108.99. You know, heads up to the great one there. We'll see if we can get something out at that top. So 108.99 coming into play again here. So hopefully that will be it. Funny story, when I was in London, I went up to this dude. I was like, man, nice shoes, you know? And he was like, thanks, man. And I think you wound up being from Cleveland. And then he looked down and he saw we had the exact same. I think he was wondering, like, wow, this guy say this. We had the same shoes, and we had a little bit of a bonding moment. Okay, there it is, right there. Spin it again. That's $3 right there. There, it's a chicken dinner winner. We told you that Nvidia by far, and it's not due to me, it's due to the great traders behind us. Nvidia is going to be the #1 name today, when yesterday it was the worst name. So here it goes. Nice move again, upside there for Nvidia. We flip it around there today and come right back here. So it's pretty good. Thank you to ST Mac and to D Loaf right there. Congratulations, D Loaf, making 2 times daily goal. Hey, it's 11 o'clock, so I think that's pretty good spot maybe now if you've made your money to think about watching our midday show, which today will be trend lines. Neil had a trend line drawn there on Nvidia. Okay, here we go. Nvidia now 1910 and taking out its day high. It's Nvidia. It's a beast as we've explained, and it's a Dara at Zdesk.
Sharp red candle here for the DXY after forming a base and forming a bit of the top. Now we're here just holding on to that 101 area right now, around 101.30 for the US dollar here. We did get these JOLTS job openings coming in at 10 a.m., much lower than expected, 7.673 million versus an estimate here of 8.09 million. The previous number here was 8.184 million. This is actually revised down to 7.91 million jobs for June. So downward revision and lower than expected number here for the JOLTS job openings, which is what gave that market that move down before coming right back up. Also coming out around the same time, their factory orders month over month, slightly higher than expectations. But another thing we got around 10 a.m. with those JOLTS job openings were comments from Fed's Bostic saying that the Fed must not maintain a restrictive policy stance for too long, and that, quote, the soft landing for the economy may be within reach. So some generally dovish comments coming from Fed's Bostic. Keep in mind, when it comes to employment data, this is not going to be it for the rest of the week because we do have unemployment coming on Friday and also the non-farm payrolls Friday, both at 8:30 a.m. So if you're looking for more jobs data, that'll certainly be on the horizon. We'll have to see how that impacts the DXY, guys.
Yes, sir. More job action or data coming through. Nvidia is at yesterday's afternoon resistance. Sorry, it was just Faraday flat bottom 520 is looming. So we're looking for that to get underneath VWAP. 520 on Faraday could break to the downside. Nvidia is trying to get through this afternoon resistance spot. Only had the breakout once it formed the trend. I mean, once the trend line, it already made the move into the resistance level. I don't need to put it in there. It'll be obvious. If it breaks it, it'll lose like 108.5. But if it can take out this top, there's still room into 111, which was the morning resistance. 111.5, it looks like, was the actual top there on Nvidia. So trend is going stair step into the upside. It's also short sell restricted, which doesn't hurt a move like this. Hold bids above quarters. I'm going to try to go long again. If it dips and holds 108.5, I'd still go long again. And then, as I mentioned, Faraday, if it breaks that 20 level, had to pay for locates here, but if it breaks 520, that would be a flat bottom break, holding underneath that whole price for Faraday futures. So Nvidia is still trying to hold a bid above 109.25. If I can see that, then I'll look for the long. It's got room to 11s, and this would be another key price. Let it go from station to station. 109 and above is another $2 move into the upside. Adara.
Keep an eye on some of these GLP-1 related names here. I have Eli Lilly's chart. I'm not reacting too much, but worth noting here that we do have the regulatory agency for medicine in the UK. That's going to be the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, or the MHRA, saying that they do not find any evidence supporting the link between GLP-1 receptor agonists and suicidal thoughts or actions, though they will continue to monitor this data. So basically not finding any reaction here between GLP-1 and suicidal thoughts. Keep an eye on some of these GLP-1 names with this news here coming out of the UK regulatory agency, guys.
Thank you for that, Adara. Look, let's just hit sirens up. I mean, Adam, you know, we talk about this all the time, real trading. There it is, right? NVIDIA, $3. Thank you so much for that. Loves to see it. Love to see you in the chat as well. Thanks, Adam, for the nice talk and the recognition there. I mean, $3 is a good trade. So we're happy to have had that still on board now. And now we only have about 15% left, as we did take that piece out at Gretzky there, 108.99. We're long at 106.25. So it is now an official $1, $2, and $3 club member one more time. So that was a good one there. Ozan wants some, I don't know, he always wants this. So we'll get that cow going as well. Congratulations there, Ozan, and anybody else that's been bringing it today. Good day, like I said, just really turned itself around. 10:55 now, just minutes away from throwing it back over to trend lines today on the midday show with Adara and Sharif. I mean, it's really, this is why, man, there's not a job. Like, you could come back the very next day and do something like this. And, you know, it's just like, it's a good opportunity to learn, right? I mean, yesterday we had lost on Nvidia. We didn't stay away from it, man. We came right back in, and we were short, then we flipped it, and boom, goes the dynamite. We play the momentum today. We said that yesterday, Neil. One of the hardest things is to follow trend. And I mean, today the trend is very, very clear. The NASDAQ is straight up. Nvidia, although we had a great trade at the bottom, man, we celebrated that $2 winner as well. $2 short, $3 long. I mean, this is what we're doing here today on NVDA. It'll be my biggest stock, obviously, and we've already talked about it here for the show today, or for the floor. So again, congratulations all the guys behind me. Congratulations everybody that's a real one with this one on NVIDIA. Tough trade, man, because yesterday was clocked. So you come back here today and you see what you can do. So there goes NVIDIA, 109.50. Yeah, we didn't even look at WESSA or really FFIE.
There was another one. It was began with W as well. There was WESSA and something else along those lines. But it doesn't matter. Like, I think FFIE, I like it because of the setup. I had no intention on trading it to the upside. Usually with a name like that, either you want to take that thinking it's going to run forever, or you want to do like a mean reversion on it and wait for that. And I think it's in the mean reversion stage. NVIDIA, it's trying to go even higher. I hope it goes higher, but it ran into a bit of a checkpoint here at the 109.5, and it did what I was looking for next, which was to hold a bid above 109.25, above yesterday's afternoon resistance spot, and it's doing so. So it wicked underneath, held a higher low, and then came back, and the buyers are there. Now it's just trying to chew through the $0.50. So I did scalp some out when I saw that refresh. It just hit 50 for the second time, and it's not punching through. But this should take us to at least 110.5, 111, with the market now green, and the market trying to drag everything up, with the exception of Apple. I don't know what's wrong with Apple here, but it can't even creep above VWAP. I feel like the first real pullback that we have in this market, Apple could be headed back down into the lows. It doesn't matter what you want to happen in the stock. There is what is happening in the stock, and what is happening in this stock is it's broken for some reason, at least today, on Apple. I'm not going to be looking for longs in this. SSR bounce all you want. Just to explain it, I know I've said short sell restricted with regards to NVIDIA. It doesn't mean you can't short it. It just means it's the uptick rule in effect because it tagged 10% down yesterday. The uptick rule makes it a little bit more difficult for people to hit the bid and go short because there needs to be the last print green. That's what the uptick rule is. Intel reloaded it in front of 20. It's been essentially the same level the whole way. This time, if it breaks out, I'll go for a reverse if it actually carries above the previous high. Essentially, it just stopped me out at the high and then didn't go any higher. So I came back into the short. But this time, if it actually buys above the high, that's where you should reverse. You don't want to reverse at the actual high of the day. You want to reverse as it's breaking through the top. Intel has yet to do it like everything else is.
Yeah, exactly.
The tap on WESSA, someone was just asking, $2.61, which is pretty much where it closed.
All right, $3.50 now on NVIDIA and still going. I mean, we had talked about 110. I mean, there were people in the chat there, I think it was Trade Forever. There's a couple other chats there or talk about, where exactly this name may be going. But it's NVIDIA, man, right back to 110, making us feel a little bit better about the chip space here today. We haven't looked at any other names. We haven't looked at AMD. We haven't looked at Intel. We haven't looked at Micron. I haven't looked at the TQs. I haven't looked at Microsoft, Apple, or anything. We just stay with the stock, and right now we're having a great morning. Like I said, it's going to be near that top of what we're trying to do right here. Look at AMD, going, gone, but we don't really care about that one, but that's a great trade. Congratulations, anybody that's been on AMD long. As that continues to go higher. We did not write it down at all on here, but now we're getting into the $4 territory again on NVIDIA. So, thank you for that there, Sharif. A little bit of a comment there. 143 on AMD, so that could be a good breaking spot there as well. Here it goes, man. Now we're up to 110. I mean, we just touched out there. The high, I don't know. I mean, our high won't work again, but the high of the day here just touched out there, 109.80. 109.80 right there. So nice little trade for NVIDIA. I see what Palantir is trying to do. It's 11 o'clock. And there it is, man. Was it UKC? Look, congratulations. It's all about teamwork here, man. It's all about feeling good about the trades, putting on the winners for you, talking about them, and answering your questions. And I hope we did another good job there today. NVIDIA now 350, no more offers. Let's see how far we can go up. It's been a good one here for NVDA today.
Yeah, NVDA leading the charge for sure. And it's a good week to talk about trends because the market for 2 days in a row have had trends to the downside yesterday, to the upside today. Let's learn a little bit more about it with Sharif and Adara. Go get them.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome.